Esports Tier 1 Pro Team and understand a little bit more about breaking down movement, breaking down communication, and why the team move in. There's lots to cover in this video. We are going to be going through multiple maps and having a look all the way through to them getting to a second place. But for now, sit back, let's just get into it. Here we go. Wash, wash, wash. Right, people, welcome in. Obviously, the first episode, so apologies for me. I've been joined by two amazing pros, Intense and Fuzzface. First of all, thank you very much, guys, for jumping in and running through Formulation Gaming and as a team and what you guys are looking to achieve this year. I know we've been recording some videos on Monday. Some games went well, some games didn't go as well. But obviously, guys, welcome in. And Fuzz, massive shout again, massive. Master in 20 hours, you said.
Yeah.
Mate, that's an achievement, mate. So yeah, big shout. If you need to get ranked, first of all, I should give you guys a follow. I'm pretty much in Fuzz's stream most of the time. If you're streaming, but like 6-7 days a week at the moment, like it isn't.
Yeah, usually every day and some hours at least, yeah.
Far too many hours. It is good though. Right, so objective for the video, for everyone that is now watching, is really we recorded some Pro League Hub screens on Monday. There were best of 6. We do have 5 out of 6. There's one game we don't really want to go into too much, but with no further ado, what I'm going to do is actually bring this up now on the main screen. And these guys should be able to see. Hopefully you guys can now see a video. And if I start hitting play, you should now get this. So game number 1. Flight path, not too bad. And obviously, as we're waiting for the plane to really go in there, Fuzz, let's quickly talk about roles within the team. I believe you're the IGL. I might be wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I do IGL.
What is an IGL for those that don't know?
I mean, it's pretty simple. Basically, you just decide like the team movements and how you take on fights. So you just make like the necessary calls, pretty much.
And then the other roles, because some teams have roles, some teams don't. There's some hybrid. Does Formulation Gaming have a set of roles in the team, or is that still being decided at the time?
No, we don't really have any special roles like that. I think the only thing but it's more a natural thing how people like to play. Like, for example, Clib, he likes to be the one who makes the moves, maybe, and stuff like this. But it's not any set roles. It's more just individual play styles, how they prefer to play the game.
Some fragging, etc. Clear we're going to see it in this game because he does some of the same plays. And obviously we're hitting Pachinki. Game number 1 was for a wrangle, and it's quite clear, as long as you guys can hear quite well. There's a lot of talk around where you guys are dropping, where we're going to, and if I just hit that pause though here, obviously you guys trying to hit this middle section within Pachinki. It's the heart and soul. You guys have got references to this. You guys were throwing out all sorts from pizzas, Clib, Mixie. So if first real, first intense and clear, let's go to you for this one. You guys have a naming convention. How important is it to have a naming convention, especially when trying to play comp?
Section here, you have 4 buildings that are like they look the same, right? It's the same building that it's a copy pasted in different locations. So if you don't have specific names for those ones, it's really difficult to interact with your teammates fast and relay the information, right?
Yeah.
So it's really important to have some specific callouts, and we also obviously have callouts for how different buildings look when we call it different things.
And we can get an idea now. Actually, you guys start talking about where you drop, and obviously there's an element I think on both these games. You guys do try to hit the high grounds quite. You go for the towers each time, and you kind of work your way on the roof, and obviously. As you go really close up with the shotgun, I always call you shotgun template in your stream. I need to get over there, mate. I know it's tasty, so I need to get over there. But obviously shotguns have been updated, so we'll come back to that in a second. But it's very clear, you guys are sounding quite a bit here. You guys are talking a lot, you guys are communicating and going, actually, hold on, where do we want to go and where are the most people? And give or take, your comms are really on point here. Now, Ted, you make the move over the top, and if I just have a look pause here, you're in rags, mate. You've got a pistol in your back pocket, a Vector with no extended mag, you've got a level 1 lids, but actually, arguably, this play is quite crucial though for the actual team, right?
Yeah, I would say I was extremely lucky this game because when I landed on the 3-story, or 2 as we call it, I found like vest and helmet insta. As long as I just have a gun I can shoot, I'm trying to aim for getting roofs insta, because this is what they usually go for. They go for these 2 buildings, and if we have roofs there, they're kind of stuck. They can't do much because we have them like... I think at this point we're only looking for that last guy. We didn't know for sure it was like 4 guys mid. It might have been a guy pizza that we weren't able to see, but out of what they're doing right now, we kind of have them like they can't do anything, literally.
It's kind of like on-fly decisions, like in terms of that, where it depends on what he gets, what kind of loot he gets instantly when he lands there. Like sometimes you can't go roof because you don't get any guns, and then you have to go down and you have to loot more and etc. So it's kind of like these on-fly decisions in these hot drops where people just have to trust all your teammates to kind of do exactly what they need to do in a way. Maybe you have a game plan a little bit in advance, but realistically speaking, it just everyone needs to do like good decisions and take whatever space they can, and have good picks.
And part of that, the call quite early on, actually, I think it was just a little bit back there. Clips like, "Hey, I'm going to make a move round." Now, you guys, this is what really noticeable for me. Obviously, we look at August here, which is a team that you guys are hot dropping at the moment. I'll just pause it there. They're very much in the pocket, as I'd always refer to it. They're very stuck as to where they go. And you guys have got this ability now where Clib's actually on the outside edge, that he can navigate his way around. You know where roughly 4 players are, give or take. You know they're not going to be able to captivate. Now, is this going to be like a consistent for you guys? I saw it back-to-back games. Are we going to try and be creative with the plays? Is Clib always going to be that go-to guy for you and the team?
I mean, he likes to make those plays, but also you can't always do the same things in these kind of hot drops. And the problem for us, I guess, is that the Orgless, they don't like to do a lot of moves. they like to sit still, so they're kind of forcing us to have to do things to make anything happen. And I mean, it's fine. It's a disadvantage for us, really, to have to make the moves all the time. But so far, it's been working out pretty well. So.
Let me just pop this one up, because obviously on main stage side of things, as we continue that video forward, Clip at this point, he's already made his move all the way around the outside, and you can see like he's got tracks in and past, and actually, arguably, a bit of PUBG luck, maybe a bit of Clip luck. He actually arrives at the right time. You guys are clearly still making moves. You guys are still actively going around. I know Fuzz just sort of sitting still, but on the comm side of things, it's very clear you guys are just sort of working out exactly where they are. Intense, you know exactly where that guy is on that stairs, like pinpoint accurate that he's trying to hold that little window. A very generic question, obviously, while waiting for Clip to wrap round. And a question for, I think, a lot of people, and randomly people ask me, and I'm not the right person to ask, but headsets, like, how important is it to have a good audio balance? And the second question for you guys really is, what headsets are you guys using at the moment? Okay, let's go intense first, go on.
I'm using Bose QZ20s. It's in-ears.
Yeah.
I've been using like a lot of headsets recently, but the in-ears works like way better for me. That's like a personal thing, though.
Fuzz,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, I also use QC20s. I mean, I started using them just because, like, way back in the day, it was a lot of LANs and you needed the in-ears over, like, inside the headset, so I got really used to them and how, the game sounds in those. So I got used to them and I liked them, so I kept on using them. But I don't think, I mean, you can use whatever you think works for you, right? Like, it's not a big deal what kind of headset you use. I feel like most headsets have good audio quality these days.
Yeah, again, I'm a big fan of the in-ears. I don't know why. I just find it a lot more easier to determine those. But obviously, we caught Clip. He does wrap in at the right time. He does catch that player jumping out. I think Global Army was a little bit aggressive, personally, to try and go for that flush, especially not having the intel. And then instantly, straight on top of that roof, I suppose that's the advantage. That's what you're looking for. The mistake was really done there by August, because you're sitting on the vector on top of that roof, and you just picked apart that player quite instantly. Not unable to do too much damage. I know Fuzzy put you under a bit of pressure, but with that player above, really sort of closed that down. And then you move over intense. You go to the other roof. Is that again now just to try and stop anyone trying to get that flush? Are you trying to stop people getting towards the techers? I believe it's at the moment, the ability to get to them.
Yeah. So I don't have the best vision from that opposite roof. So I knew, like, after I knocked the guy below there, I know he was alone in that house. So I'm just making moves so Fuzz can run easily to the 3-story, and I'm like pinpointing him all the time as well.
Yeah,
and we still know there's a guy below me, and I'm kind of how should I say it, blocking this guy to do something again.
Yeah. Well, it's quite clear he can't come out and cause you problems. Clib's got you covered technically from that east side. Obviously, Fuzz, you make that big move back and around to get that, and again you pre-stop. You kind of guessed that guy was going to be watching your crossover. You put him in nicely. You eventually get yourself back. You do make a really good shout on comms as well. Just before that point, is that actually you say you need to back away because you need to get over and jump over the player. I see so many times people get caught on the feet of their players quite well. Obviously back to a 4 now. You've got one knocked, pretty much needed flushed out. You've already got one flushed out, and there's 2 left remaining. Of which, again, in the comms, you guys are like, hey, these guys are split. Now Fuzz, you make a big decision here, right? You're looking for the pick, but you actually make the call to stack up. And again, just for people watching, like, sort of run through your mind, why was the call to get to the boys and stack up on this player?
I mean, it's pretty easy, to be honest, because we know it's a 2-man, and we know both the houses they're in, and there's really no reason to not stack up. You just make sure that one is dead, and then it's a 4v1. So it's really like a no-brainer. Like, you can deal with him afterwards, and he won't be able to help his teammate later. Like, so it's just, I always like to prefer to stack the odds in your favor, kinda. So just do things methodically and without risk, if possible.
Yeah, and again, you see the doc, let's get one down to 1 man, and you guys instantly stop again. You're like, hey, do you know what? Pause, get the res, can't flush, and then again, it's a let's stack up and go. He does pick up one. Eventually, you find out, and I think you guys stay clean very much after that one. After that, obviously, it was a point of actually now where the zone pops. The zone now moves further away, further afield, and it's like, what is now the call? Because you look at this style of zone. You guys have cleared August, and it's now, hey, let's get the shift up. A couple of things, Fuzz. You make a call that you want to play late, and I'm going to make the assumption, but again, please correct. Is that because you guys are late now coming to the zone? Expectations are there already people in front of you, excluding a doozy flying around you guys in the glider twice. Yeah. Actually, he glides past you guys. But just, again, talk us through what's the thought process here. Where are you guys looking to go? What's the next steps for the team?
Yeah, I mean, so we spend a lot of time in the hot tub, right? So when we spend that much time on it, it's just unrealistic to think that anything ahead of us is free. Like, everyone is gonna be ahead of us into zone. So it just take our time, make sure that we have any loot now as well, because we obviously don't have good loot from the hot drop. So we need to loot a little bit more, and we're gonna be even later. So yeah, we just take it slow from there.
And obviously the path here, we're gonna look at the video in a second, but you guys play towards that sort of boatyard, and one of you pick out one of the players up on the roof. Again, I love the play. If I bring back up the video, I do love the play that you guys go for, because I think it is you, Fuzz. Again, you make the call to, hey, can you cover me, and you move the car into a position, one, that's safe, but 2, you're trying to bait that shot out. You're trying to get that player to kind of over peak and extend to you to potentially pick up the knock. That doesn't quite happen, obviously, and you guys are unable to make that push forwards. But was the plan always to try and go through boatyard and go over? I know you guys change it because of the outcome, but what is the play here to go across that bridge on that south side?
Yeah, I mean, the initial thought was that if it's free, we can always take it. And then I got really close before we started peeking. Mm-hmm. And it's a line that I would prefer to play, like from the boatyard, because since we're super late, we don't really have any prior spots, and we just have to try to make do with the space we get.
Yeah.
But obviously they stack up there, and it's a pretty bad fight if you don't get the opening knock. So we just try our luck on a different side if that happens.
If you had an E pick up in your back pocket, guys, would you have opted to take an E pick up? Obviously, on Monday, you guys didn't pick up one and make that play. Some teams seem to favour it. I do start to see teams avoiding E pickups as well. But again, would that have been an option if you had it, or is it always let's get the cars, let's spread out and take our time now coming into zone?
I mean, it depends really on the zone. Like this one, for example, we would probably keep it, like take it with us. Mm-hmm. But it's not something that I would instantly do on this zone. Maybe next one, because you lose all the cars obviously when you use it, so you have to know that you can play from that area on foot pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, this zone is not all of it is playable on foot.
No, and obviously you guys now starting working your way down. Obviously Clib was the first there. He hits that bike and he comes straight over to the top. So he's the one looking at that boatyard. Tekkas makes the play across towards sort of ruins as a slight split. And again, I'm assuming that's trying to get an angle, trying to bait these guys in, so to speak. So let's get this last car. There we go. It's a full suite of cars. You guys don't normally go 2 up in cars either. I did notice that you like to spread out and pick a car each. And again, some teams seem to prefer a 2-2, which I don't kind of get. I think the stacking up is a little bit better. And here you go. Here's his look. Obviously, Clib pulled up on the ridge. He's got the bike. He has actually picked up art, but he does jump away from this, which is quite unfortunate. That's the play for you to get that car around, and there you go. You can see that car coming down, take that ridge line really well. In terms of, you're a little bit closer towards the action. You're a bit over towards this sort of left hand side here. Are you trying to again look for that E pickup? Are you trying to look for that knock though on that roof at this point?
The call was there was one guy in the flat top, so we're kind of looking to get him. I mean, hindsight, I should have been able to knock him, honestly, because Clib tagged me once and I just whiffed a headshot, so I bodied him instead. And I also have a Dragono, which is like perfect range for this type of fight or knock.
Yeah, very deadly, very deadly. Obviously, these guys don't deal with that with a knock. And sometimes I see the mistake from teams, actually, they still commit to things like this, but if you opt to back away and make the call to give me cover. Again, just talk us through like the thought process behind that, and not going aggressive in, I suppose.
Yeah, no, like I said, I don't think it's a fantastic fight to take if you don't have the opening knock. Like if you have an opening knock, then I'm happy to take any fight, but especially with the zone, like it's not going to end on the south side, so it's not a very high priority spot neither for us.
Yeah.
So we're just checking for other stuff afterwards.
And again, this push forward, guys, obviously massive extension, Clib lead in charge as always, pushing over towards the other side. You guys remain though on the south side, and obviously you've got the zone. You have the ability to sort of play, and Clib obviously is kind of out here on his own, and you guys are talking about obviously the blue line, the orange line, and I think I asked you guys after the game, the blue line is that sort of peak where Clib is. This line he's running now. Obviously, you guys are trying to get. Yeah, okay.
Kind of, and then up on the hill there from.
Like towards, I think it was Foot Esports, so back towards that sort of left-hand side when we look at Clib, basically.
Yeah.
Dense, nice knock, nice steal, peak at the right time. I think if you pick one, I think you nearly get the second as well, actually. Twisted Minds obviously have played into Exalt. Exalt didn't take that E pick at the time. I think part and parcel that is because you guys sort of pulled up and drew their attention away from it. So they get caught, eventually they get eliminated here. And just talking people through, you guys are looking for points at this, right? You're looking at this zone that it's going to be quite difficult to get into, and you're trying to get some points on the board, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, we should be a little bit faster and get over towards Clib side, so that we can. It's gonna happen soon here where Twisted they can drive in and drive kind of ahead of us on the bridge there, and if we're more people on Clib, then we're gonna we probably wipe them and have an okay game with a couple of more kills, but we're a little bit slow here.
And there's that zone shift. Yeah, I think you're right. It's the timing. Twisted Minds, yeah, pretty quick on that move. They're straight in the cars. Now, you guys obviously go midway point. You can see on the right hand side. You guys go mid and then come over, and they go full send in the car. Basically, they opt to go straight over. There's obviously you're anchoring back here. You're on the hold. I think you're one of the last to come over. I might be wrong actually.
No, I was.
And again, just talk people through. Obviously, you're holding here. I call it the anchor play, but again, explain to people that may not know, like, why are you not with the team? What is the objective?
To gain as much info about VP, Twisted Minds, as I can. I think earlier as well, I should have been able to pop 1 or 2 more cars, so I'm like pressuring them a lot, and they also have to leave with like 1 car later on, which would be a lot easier fight for the boys.
You take some heat from Foot Esports, don't you, as well? Because they were sitting in Cube. They actually wrapped there quite early, but their drop is down by that South George, so it's kind of a go-to take, and Tekkas have picked him up as well earlier. Obviously looking for to try and close the bridges off, but again, that sort of hit, I'm assuming it delays your approach coming over, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got shot to like 10 HP there, at the end, so I had to heal and then I have to do a swim over to Foss. I could have been like a lot faster, because if I'm like closer to the boys here, we basically have a 4v3 and not a 3v3 at this point.
And it's quite unlucky actually, because I think Tekis is trying to wrap on the other side, isn't he? But he gets caught, he's down. He does try to get some information, because for those that are not aware, you're down, you can still talk and provide intel, because information is key. Obviously, there was a Scuba Steve, I like to call him on stream, but it's causing you guys a little bit of issues. He can pop up here anyways, where he is. And at this point, for me, it's kind of like ensured destruction. As a caster, we're looking over this point as in there's going to be a lot of action. It's either going to be GG or you that's going to take the win on the fight. And unfortunately, Twisted Mind's in a very difficult spot to try and get out of. I don't think, actually, I think you guys might have just picked up GG at this time, Fuzz. And obviously, you don't have many options though, do you, from here?
No, I mean, at this point we were all like, the damage is already done, right? Like we were already a little bit too late and people got ahead of us. So now, at this point, it's just you have to try to just push and try to get kills. That's it. It's a lot of that in PUBG, where the why you die is from mistakes you did a little bit earlier. So it's not the play always that you do at the time. It's what you did a little bit earlier in the game that really seals your fate. If that makes sense.
There is the seal of the fate, though. Let me just quickly pause that. So yeah, this is a good question actually. That's what I wanted to ask you. Like, if you could go back and change it, which we know we can't, what would you have done differently in that scenario? Obviously, I know you know the outcome, but talk to people about that. What you would have changed?
No, I probably would have just got over more people to clip side earlier, because we watched the bridge far left, almost in the blue zone, but question mark held it with 2 guys. And sure, we can pull up on that too, but we have to rotate in the blue, so people are gonna be low from that and pull up on 2 guys on a good hill over the bridge. So they probably like it's not a great play. So I would probably do the same thing, but just be faster on it.
Just get those points on, and I think you guys did allude to me that it was going to be a bit of a hot drop day anyway. Obviously, very quickly, either of you, which one want to explain it, talk to everyone, because there are rules around screaming and hot dropping. But why can you guys hot drop August, but August couldn't hot drop, and we see it a bit later, GG?
Yeah, so basically for scrims we have a couple of artificial rules just to try to keep the quality of scrims a little bit better. So if you're a higher tier pro team, so say for example people who have made worlds or made finals and stuff like this, then people who haven't had the same achievements, they can't hot drop on them. So it's just kind of a tier-based system of how good the team is. So you get a little bit of protection for doing good in actual tournaments.
Keep those 4 up, but you guys are equal up, so it is a hot drop, and again we see a little bit of difference. Now, intentionally don't go for the roof this time. Obviously, I'm making the assumption you didn't have anything on that roof. You've had to go down. Why don't you go back up to the roof and jump over? Is it just too much of a risk at that point?
I am trying to, but I'm getting blocked by one of the fences on top there, so I wasn't able to jump all the way over. That's what kind of ruined this game. Because I'm doing the exact same thing, but you see I'm slow there. I'm getting like... Yeah, I talked with Fuzz about it, and you should always just jump on the fences around that area. And then it's like way better jump.
Not the gap. So jump on the fence
not
and
the
get
gap.
Across. But this time you went along the line. You didn't go up and on top of, I suppose, Augus's player. So you changed the route of which you went in. Is that intel based? Is that because you knew someone was right in front of you at the bottom point?
Me, the guy in front in the house?
Yeah, so you go for game number 1, you let me go back slightly. On game number 1, you jumped straight onto that blue roof.
I jumped to Tully that game as well, but I was fast as F to jump on the other roof back again.
Go back the other way, I understand.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fuzz Clip's doing clip, and this time he's a little bit southern than the other location. It does puzzle me that August don't pick him up. Wednesday. It's another day. It's GGL Division number 1. Welcome back, CC, mate. How you been, first and foremost? How's your week been so far?
It's been good, man. But the weekend has been super busy. But, we're here, back middle of the week. I tell you, it's been one of the busiest weekends. But now back for another GG League, man. And it's going to be some good games, to say the least.
It's all about the good games. Obviously, for those that are just new into things, we're going to look at the leaderboard, actually. We'll look at the leaderboard early, because I can bring it up during the flight paths, etc. But Good Game Ligaen, obviously, it's a league in Norwegian region. It's over a series, pretty much a whole month, and then we have a set of finals. These teams are in the top division, so we will play the lower divisions Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday being the top division. So you are here looking at the best in the region. Obviously, every single week, the points continue to tally. We keep working our way up, and then we go through to our finals, final couple of days. Obviously, we work out. There'll be some teams at the very bottom that get relegated. There'll be some teams fighting for a relegation spot. There'll be some teams safe, and there'll be some teams in it to win it. Let's get into it, though. It's game number 1. It's best of 6 this evening, and guess what? It's Miramar. Let's go, baby. Here we go. It's map number 1. It's Good Game Ligaen. And as I said, let's bring up the leaderboard. Well, look, no surprise. For esports. Woo! Jeez, there. They are really, really high up. Flight path, though, super down on the southwest across towards a southeast. Does favour the south side of the map. The zones have been shocking. And I'll also caveat, for training and quality purposes, or streaming and quality purposes, should I say, PUBG's been crashing recently. So if we do get a crash out, we'll get back into the game as quickly as we can. Hopefully we don't. Touch wood. CC, what are you making the leaderboard, mate? There's some big points on there.
Man, like I said, I was looking at it earlier and I was kind of trying to break it down. And I was like, all right, where are we at? Like, kind of in this, like, what's going on here? And then I just seen Fut, with a huge, over the top lead right there. This is like beyond crazy to start off, at game number 1 here. It's going to be crazy. So, Fut, that's going to be an easy one. But more or less, I looked at the top 5 right there. And if you look at from like 2nd to 5th place, about a 25-point gap right there. And I think that's where the more interesting conversation is going to be here. Is that around Formulation Gaming, who's sitting, 10 points out of that 2nd place, and then Clannon, who's sitting just, I want to say about 13 points out of 3rd place. It's going to be a very close, a lot of, I think, leapfrog going for those top 3 spots right there. Fut sitting comfortable. It's going to take some really bad games and a bad performance here for Fut. And speaking of bad, that zone just not looking so great.
Oh, not looking great. It's early. There's been some shockers recently when it comes down to actually the zones, I'll be honest. So yeah, no surprise. It's worth mentioning actually the command center, !CC, store and beta, store trialing. There's been a few little blips, so we've been working on the code. Get yourself on there, !CC. We've got the map stream. We've got more teams. Unwanted, yet again with another POV. BFG with a POV coming up. Clannon with a POV as well. So more teams are getting involved. You can hear their comms. It's a good insight. The application will give you the visibility to see the mainstream. Hey, I'm me and CC, but you also get to have a look on the minimal map. Maybe you just want the map stream map as well. So you want to see the map stream plus as well as the mainstream. You can get yourself over there. And then the other news while we wait for things to sort of kick off is actually, I suppose the big one. I actually got the Twitch bot working. Now, it still needs a bit of development, right? But actually, you can type, for example, ! And then the team name. It does need to be exact for it to make the call. That's what I need to work on. But for example, you can do ! And Navi is spelled in capitals, so Navi. You hit that one, it's going to come back to you and let you know who is playing in Team Navi. God, what else is there? Discord bot being done, CC. There's loads going on. There is loads going on. There are other people, not just myself, working these things as well. So huge shout for them. So yeah, just trying to make the community access to information a little bit easier and cleaner for everyone.
And man, like I said, you've been doing a fantastic job. Like I said, lots of updates. I mean, to have team commands coming out, Discord getting set up, the communication just like between, again, just being a base player coming into the league. When you used to come into this, no, even a year back, I mean, we could say 6 months, we could say 3 months, but I mean, let's say like a year back, you come into competition and you're trying to compete with your team. You're relatively new to the scene. Like it was kind of like, hey, bro, like get out of here. Like this is kind of like a lockdown scene, and now it's kind of like I said, everybody's kind of coming back in. We see a lot of team rotations, a lot of team flips. Um, early is MM with Jaws going to get taken down. We see Heels already in the back eliminated. So 2 Mad Marines left alive here. Early fighting starting to happen. So, and typical Miramar today, we Marines, like I said, it's either they make it into the late game or they have some early losses here. And it just seems to be one of those things where Mad Marine's going to lick some wounds and then continue to rotate there out of the truck stop.
Oh, I've pressed the button I shouldn't have. What is it? It's that one, isn't it? There you go. And I need to put that button back. Oh, pressing the buttons, people. Shouldn't be pressing the buttons.
Click, click.
Yeah, clickety click, clicks too quick. It's match number 1. We've got a best of 6 every single week on Wednesday. Glad obviously to have CC back. It's great having him on cast as well. So we're going to be covering all 6 games this evening. What else is going on there? Well, Miramar, we go Vikendi, Tago, and then we're going to end today on Erangel. The only real change, though, is we swap things around every single week. So we're starting at Erangel next week. And as I said, it's until we get ready to the finals. When we get to the finals, then we've got 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where we're kicking things off. And as I said before, the bottom teams, well, unfortunately, they drop down straight away to Division 2. No questions asked, you're down. So they're fighting for that. But then you've got a section which is relegation. So there'll be some people that are in Division 2 that be in the promotion path to come to Division 1. And there'll be some people, though, in the Division 1 which unfortunately have to fight for survival. So as we get closer and closer along, there are going to be big points. It's a big point league, right? But we're going to be looking at some of these teams a bit later on because, yes, you might not be at the top. You might not be contending with the foots, etc., CC. But actually what you're contending for is making sure you're not getting yourself into that relegation spot. So we'll show some people later on the line when we get close towards that final week because that will become really, really key what these teams need to achieve.
And honestly, like I said, that's going to be a key factor to, again, a lot of these teams who more or less, like I said, would in another tournament may not have much to play for. This tournament, there's going to be a lot to play for. And Don Dauphin is going to come through with a huge spray from that top. Nade comes in to flush, doesn't even need it. Gets the knock with the re-peek on the August. Vehicle going to do its thing. And maybe do what they should have did is take a different route.
Yeah, back the head out of there. Not the case. A lot more action also happening in Formulation Gaming. There is a call for Formulation Gaming to get yourself streaming. Techers, sort it out, mate. I know you can. You've got the skill set to do it. His banter is he spends too much time in the lobby. Well, for now, they have a player down. They do need to get a res back up. But they've got a kill on the board. So there's another kill. There's another steal. But BFG, well, we have their POV as well, as I mentioned before. !CC in chat. Well, you can get into the chat. You'll be able to hear the POVs and understand a little bit more about what they've got. Plus, you'll be able to see us as well. Well, not see us, but you'll be able to hear us. So, double bubble, trying to improve, as I said, I don't want to say lower production because I have a lot of faith in my production, but I do want to level up the community events, the tier 2s, the tier 3s, to feel like tier 1 events. That's my goal. That's my goal, people.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
Yeah, take some time, mate. It's been many years, though.
It's been a grind. It's been a grind, man. The grind. I love horses. Not done here. 4 behind enemy wives. Finds one. Finds a second. Maybe with this re-peek here. Needs one more bullet to land there. Will not get it. That's 3 kills now confirmed here for behind enemy wives. Having a great start to the day so far in the back. This is the whole other team that they're fighting on now. So it's 2 different teams taking some losses here. Another one, Unwanted, starting to take losses as God fares. They had a great start. They had a great from what we were casting, Mark, this team came in, they had really, really good entry. So I really want this team to kind of get their footing here early on. That's not the way to do it.
Nope. I think it's weak last week, actually, as well. They obviously working their way out. There is, let's talk back about leaderboard, right? Footy Sports, yeah, it's 124 points, where STFU, they had a great week number 1, where you were casting by yourself. And I came back, obviously, week 2, and we saw a little bit of a change for them because you went around and they didn't really perform. Week 3 arguably didn't really perform until the last couple of games, and they kind of skyrocketed themselves up because there is a huge gap between second and first. But actually, when we get past that gap, The rest of the pack's pretty tight. There's maybe 10 points here, 20 points in here, but over a series of weeks, those 10 points, 20 points, they're not that far.
It starts to add up really, really quickly here. And like I said, in one of the most recent tournaments, placement points was huge. I mean, placement points was starting to take teams from, you know, 5th, 6th, 7th up into that 2nd and 3rd place spot. You know, without the lack of placement, kills are going to be heavy. They're massive, but you got to get them placement points to stand in with that too. So you know, you can continue to get 5, 6 early on kills. It's going to keep you in the conversation, but it's never going to put you into that top 4. You know, respectively. I mean, there's going to be, you know, every little bit of case here, but that's going to be a difficult, you know, game if you're relying everything just on kills here. So placement starting to come through, and I respect teams that are sitting here playing the defense. They get the res, and now they're going to reset into this compound. It's still phase 1. There's a lot of PUBG to play, and anything could happen. And again, that's everybody's favorite, and I don't want to say least favorite, but unexpected little bit of PUBG action there. So, you know, we'll see what these guys get early on. Speaking, again, another fight here, still into phase 1 rotation. A lot of action happening, and this time in the form of the gambling addicts. They're able to get some attention on the clan, who is in that top conversation, 4th place coming into today. So this is huge for some of those teams like Unwanted and the Formulation Gaming, who need to create that room.
Yeah, they're going to cut the room. That means they're getting some points here and going down 2 players pretty early. One of our POVs actually going down pretty early here. We're still watching the rest of their team. They'll be still communicating. The first player as well, down, not fully out. They're still comms. The IPL can still make decisions. The decision out, well, that's to back away, like what we saw from the Mad Marines. Stay alive with 2, but that's sometimes more important because they need to keep in that top spot. You're right, they're on that left side of the table here, CC, and maybe that sandstorm that's coming is going to provide them a little bit more cover as they find themselves down to a final player.
I'm just having a lot more respect for this. I've been, you know, getting in my dabble at PUBG, and some days I'm rotating, and that storm comes in, and I make it to the rock, or I make it to the coverage here, and as much as I used to hate it, and I used to really, really be like, why is this in PUBG? It saved me a couple times, more or less. So, you know, we're gonna, you know, hopefully see that by now. I think teams have understood kind of how to use that to their advantage, and also how to, you know, more or less avoid the fights when that thing comes through. So, you know, it was kind of like the blizzard in Vikendi. People were again upon the question, but I think it's been a little bit more accepted than that blizzard, as the blizzard hasn't returned. Yet the sandstorm we see continue to roll through here on Miramar.
Yeah, and talking about rolling through, well, that's the zone. It rolled through and rolled out. It went out towards more of a north to northwest. We do hold on to a bit of unplayable still, but it does favour the Mad Marines there, CC, because they can come in now quite late. They lost 2 bodies early, but now they find themselves in what I classify as what I call the phase compound. Everyone's got different names for it, but they are sitting here at the moment. It was a 3. Now they're going to be just scouting forward. As Pat said, well, going to be moving his way in potentially towards Monty, which give or take on a bad spot. We do see the zone pull back this way and away again. I think the eye of the tiger is going to be where Foot are, as they find themselves flared up now in the brickyard.
Yeah, again, that area he just drove by, one of my favorite end games, to get that middle, that crossroad there. Yeah. You know, it's just very exciting, very I want to say informative, information heavy, you know, about say reliant on that zone there. So but no, we will get a phase 2 that's going to push just south probably of Monty here. There is a lot of the unplayables that was just gotten rid of, so you know, this kind of opens the door for a lot more. So okay, that doesn't open the door for anybody except for BEW to add another one, and that is Clan out in 16th place, leaving us with just the 15 teams there. So the first team eliminated is our 4th place team there. Unwanted has to realize that's an opportunity for them. Put these points, they're 4 points behind, so there's the door wide open for Unwanted.
Well, should be a quick kill confirm here from Formulation Gaming. It's worth noting, obviously, during the entry video, during the starting scene, guys, we were showing you guys the Tactical Reload Talks. It is on my YouTube channel if you want to go check it out. There are 2 episodes up. One was with the old Formulation Gaming that we see Intense and Fuzzface, and obviously going through their gameplays, their game styles. If you're new, you're growing towards the PUBG esports, getting ready for that new update with the Unreal Engine. Sometimes it's really good to sort of break down sometimes how these pros sort of operate, how they work. I think it's quite a good insight. I plan to do a little bit more of them as we go in towards this 2024 season. So let us know who you'd want to see on these videos.
In comes the rotation, all against us. And we're going to get this right today, Mark. All against us.
Yep.
It's coming in for a quick rotation. Driving past, you know, a lot of dangers. This compound here tends to be in the end game a lot of the times here. We have You know, the most difficult part about this is the stacked compounds above it and kind of the rotation away from. But AAU, nice rotation, clean in. Brule, the last one to come in, should be able to make it free and clear here. As again, it just seems to be this is a nice rotation, potentially a game-winning rotation here from AAU, depending on how the crashes and how the rest of the zone does play out here. We got another few seconds till we see where phase 3 pops in. Before you know it, Fut's in the center now. Don't know how much, again, the zone's going to agree with that, but as it pops, floats down, keeps Fut in the conversation in the Brickyard, but does start to pull directly down to the south. Formulation Gaming looking great.
Yep, zone does pull back, so it goes one way, comes back the other, so a bit of a an upsy-turvy, flip-flop as it goes back. The teams are pretty good. I think Foot will be looking at potentially where do they go next, but first important role for them is to defend these teams really coming in on the west side. STF, you're okay. Mad Marines, obviously they snuck in quite early. Unfortunately, we saw the guys forwards down to sort of one player from Clanham rotating in. It's very difficult. Was kind of trying to get to that solo shack, and arguably getting hit, not bad. Even as a solo, you can kind of hold this out. And then obviously we will work on that. I've been told my sound is quite low. I can get that sorted. Thank you. Cheers.
Yep. We'll work on some sound cue here. Rotating though, AAU, as I gave them some love there, Mark, was pushed out. So the rotation for them is now edge play coming out for these guys. And then we look down to behind enemy wives, who's actually in a great position. Early kills on, doesn't have to worry about playing too aggressive, and then Sandstorm, or excuse me, Slowstorm in the Sandstorm should be able to at least survive for the time being. But speaking of survival, it's all going to come down to SU against a Waste here in the compound. Purdy Curdy making the approach to breach this compound. Elf myself finds the opening knock onto Shoei here. Reaches over for a second, is going to grab that knock as he repeaks. Going for the third, spots out Michael behind the vehicle. Gets the third, but Deviant with the trade from across the way. Will steal that one away. Third-party help makes it good. Purdy with the finish, and that is Slava Ukraini eliminating Waste. A little bit of third-party help will unfortunately lose them a member, but it's Spectro and Purdy, top of the hill, coming out on top.
That's painful. Painful for the team, unfortunately. Obviously working away, but really clean though from Slava. A team that coming into this event, I was like, do you know what? They're decent. They're a good team. Expect big things. Not performed. Didn't perform last week before that. Real good insights to how they can do things, but just not able to sort of stitch it together. Well, they stitch it together against the famous Michael and Viper's combo that we've been seeing so far. Well, they're on the other side of the zone now. They've got to work their way in. The gangsters have already performed when it comes down to putting down teams. 2 kills already for them as the early knocks came in from the Mad Marines.
Legendary Snuskadusky is down there with Brule stuck for AAU. Andy makes something happen out of nothing. They're inside the vehicle. The rests are good. The shots are raining in from the real gangsters. Benray will get confirmed right there. It looks like one member is going to get eliminated. Jan still pressuring forward. Snuskadusky now taken care of, and it just looks like AAU just again peppered out through the smoke there. BFG starting to lose members left and right as well. Left to the solo, who actually catches the 2 of them off guard. HPFL going to find 1 and 2. Does get credit for 1, but the second one is stolen away as Blanky continuing to keep his head where it needs to be. Real gangsters are just continuing to pressure everything on this east side of the zone.
Yep, it's going to be difficult, but res possible. 48 seconds to go, and full reverse on this one should be all right. You've got to keep bodies up now. You've got to keep 14 teams alive, 41 players. You kind of need a body going into this game number 1.
And man, game number 1 is still early enough that there, could be so much more still to happen. Potentially for these teams, we're getting a lot of them starting to feel the lobby out and feel what's going on here into this new kind of lobby situation here with, again, the relegation with, the upgrades, the downgrades, and teams are just starting to come in. Speaking of downgrade, that vehicle is going to downgrade to nothing, and it's now just a piece of cover here sitting in the wasteland as smoke comes out from the last member of AAU. He's hoping for some survival. He's inside the zone, but living on borrowed time. We'll see how much it buys.
Well, borrowed time. That's STFU. They're trying to be held out now. The zone is now popping in. They need to get going. Bree going to be sticking up as Xerox also be getting into the Aston Martin. Bree's looking for a knock, but time not favouring. Oh, he's got no front wheel. This is going to be a very, very slow exit for the team, unfortunately. are going to be getting peppered, and I think Otto's in such a good spot. Yeah, he is. He can really see over. BFG, well, they lose another one. Remember, they've got that res back in. They can't be losing any more. Oh, it's confirmed, and then they go out. Unfortunately, BFG, they're taking 14th place now. That's them and out for game number 1.
Again, there are 6th place teams, so it's now Unwanted and Formulation Gaming, who just eliminated them, continue to put points where they matter. STFU has been quiet, but they should still be alive here, and there they are, pushing forward here, trying to find some sort of space inside the zone. 2 vehicles, one peppered with 3, and you can just see Otto, as Mark mentioned, just laying down some fire. Unfortunately, not connecting with the Mini 14, but was definitely pressuring that vehicle and made STFU really consider this rotation. But they make it. They're in. They've got the brick wall. They've got a little bit of a shack. I kind of like this kind of shack play. This is kind of one of the better shacks, I'd have to say, coming out on Miramar.
They put the car in cover that's got 2 front tires missing, and the one car that had all the tires missing, well, they lay it to waste. They're going to be finding it very difficult. The zone does push back. I think it might come back their way. We've seen a couple of zones around there, CC, so we'll just have to wait and see. Formulation Gaming, 3 kills at the moment. We see him in a kill feed when it came to BFG, and obviously now be looking to get more. Chasing a few teams, found themselves on the high ground, now push themselves down to the low ground. They will wiggle their way now. Phase number 4, 13 teams alive. This is an aggressive stance. We see this all the time. Phase 4 to phase 5, phase 5 to 6 is where we get down to our top 4. Very much the sort of region, if you was watching scrims the other day on the Pro League or the Pro Lobby on the EU, we could be 8 teams, 7 teams, maybe 6 teams in our final couple of zones. Well, not the Norwegian region. They go aggressive, they go hard, and this is the zone, and so be it. There goes the zone shift away from phase number 5, 13 teams. Keep the count in the top corner, guys, because we're going to be losing some players pretty quickly.
It's going to go fast here. Phase 5, usually a non-stop bloodbath. We still got the Mad Marine and the Solo 4 inside the shack. This is a bad joke. This is not a great opportunity here for STFU. But the blue zone nades starting to come in, starting to do some damage. The third a little bit off. Otherwise, that could have been disastrous. 2 were right on the money. The third, again, just kind of bounced off the wrong angle. Faye will get credit for one of the knocks there, but they should be able to reset quickly before you know. 8C with the dragon off from the side finds Ben. That one unfortunately will not recover, so a quick flush. Quick kill count going up for Flood's looking good. Still continuing to rain a fire from the top, but it's a nade. Don Quixote Dauphin tries to avoid, almost gets both of them, but both possibility for the res. I Love Horses way too far off, and the other member, Sandra Haim, is going to be close enough, but I think more or less, yeah, focused on the attention. STFU.
Dangerous push. I kind of like it though. I kind of like BEW behind enemy wires. They went aggressive. They went on to sort of the third party action on the STFU. What I didn't actually factor in was the high ground. That Rez could sort of sit there. I Love Horses did play it back. That's a good play. Was to look over, get the high ground to see the peekaboos, but it didn't really work out for them. Footy Sports played a big part of that, but more importantly, well, the team on top of the hill, huge play from them. Good control, 3 kills at the moment. They might start by around to farm as they control the southwest corner.
King of the castle, king of the castle. We got RES coming alive. When this team catches fire, Mark, this team blazes. And this team right now seems to have it. They've got their guns just literally hitting everything left and right, center. They've got STFU. They've got FUT. They just had a team elimination. They continue to participate in another one there. Now the Mad Marine runs into Otto, and unfortunately he's on automatic today, so we'll take down Patzer in 10th place. 9 teams. One more team needed to be eliminated before we start to see some placement come through, and phase 5 is not over yet, so that means the bloodbath is still gonna commence.
Yeah, Footy Sports Board, they're gonna need to put the player in the back of the car now and get rolling. One player from remaining from AAU still not quite in, and here comes the cars. I think he does go down. The zone's done the damage here, so Footy Sports and AAU on 2 solos going to be going potentially head to head. They see the car. Otto, well, he's just got out and laid down, but don't forget, CC, he's not quite in the car here at the moment. He's just taking the chance now to get a few bandages on. I don't think he knows exactly how close danger is. What he does know, well, he finds himself now in the point pot because 8 teams remain. It's now a point, an area, a point, a place, as long as you can keep your team up in this mad zone.
How much longer can you survive with so many teams with eyes on you? That's it. Days are over. Otto's out, 8th place. Unwanted, starting to lose some as the gambling addicts have them pinned inside the shack. Their vehicles were pulled up. They seem to have the right idea, but unfortunately, again, all eyes on Unwanted, and that's not what you want. This is what they have to deal with here in order to get into that next zone, spots out RES again, who just seems to have their attention in their hand in every bag right now. As I say that, the Gambling Addicts continuing to outshine these guys from the distance. Find one, find two, and there's just a solo member left up for RES. It's Spurv. Can Spurv make something happen out of nothing? He's got two teams and a third with Slowstorm ahead still to deal with.
God, it's so difficult because they're on the high ground. They just got absolutely PUBG. The zone shifted away from them. There was a bit of fighting in the middle. They went to get the third party, started launching down the nades. And then everyone was like, hold on. These guys are exposed, CC. We can just get a few more kills. And one of the teams that have been racking up the kills were the Gamblers. 8 kills for them. They rolled the dice, mate. It's rolling well. Still got 4 bodies up. Just about holding on to the edge of zone. But it does look like we might be seeing it push a bit more towards the east. Let's see if they can get any more kills here. As the rest of these teams on the west, well, they've got to rotate their way in.
Two strong teams holding inside the zone, starting to battle it out now. It's FMG and RG. Into the conversation comes the mixed squad up, and they're finding a perfect opportunity to rotate in as the solo. In the back, Unwanted will fall in 6th place, added some points. This is a huge game for Formulation Gaming. They've got the point totals. They've now had their closest competitors all eliminated, and Techers with a perfectly timed nade gets one, gets two, and the second one to confirm down onto both Blanky and Wooly. And these util uses, like an old school STK in my book, they're perfect. The timing is on, and it looks so good right now for Formulation Gaming.
Apologies, Deckers, mate. I clicked the wrong buttons. I didn't see your double bubble on your nade, so it's my bad, mate. You only got myself to blame. We go 5 teams now. Phase number 6. We are losing the bodies now. Real gangsters as well. They're trying to get a bit of cover, and unfortunately, there are some real gangsters on this. And now one of them is Formulation Gaming, the team chasing. These guys are normally the team that's winning this league as well, so they've got a bit of chasing to do. So it looks like a good first game, especially with Foot Esports going out. They're going to be a team that's going, hey, do you know what? We can actually really make benefit here. There we go. Top 4. 4 versus 4 versus 3 versus 1. The unknown mix well snuck their way in. They do have the zone for how much longer, but we have some huge bodies left now on this final couple of zones.
Left for the top 4 here, a strong Gambling Addicts, Slowstorm creeping their way in from the outskirts here. They are in a very top heavy position here. They've got Gambling Addicts kind of off on that angle right there, but it's Formulation Gaming hard cover compound. Phase 7 could absolutely tilt some of these teams for this next direction. It can only go so many directions, but probably going to pull off the hillside closer and closer to the road there. As it does pull off the hill, it's going to formulate that road right in the middle of that zone and continue to push these teams closer and closer to what I like to call the crossroads of that, of the zone right there. And basically it becomes a, left, right, center with these 4 teams.
It is left, right, center here. Slow at the moment. They're trying to be creative, as you can see. They are working their way down. They do have a ridge they can play, but they've got to do it quite early. But the moment they sort of expose themselves here, this is the kill box for them. This is the danger. They might be looking to try and hold on to the zone, because it's going to be a bit difficulty running down this face. All going to be down to actually who moves first, maybe on the west. GA, well, they've gambled so far. The zone has shifted away from them. Are they going to roll the dice one more time here, CC? Maybe push forward, maybe try and conquer the west. I think that is their only option, but they've still got a car remaining. That could be huge in this late zone.
Really, this is the best thing about PUBG, and I think one of my favorite things of casting. There is literally so many different options here. It all comes down to what they do. And first move made by Vendetta here. He's in the vehicle. He sends it into the smoke, just trying to bait out some smoke. Just trying to get some attention. He just headbutted that grenade away. Soccer moves coming out from Vendetta here. And I'm not sure how, but that one, yeah, you're not going to be able to kick too far away, as Tajukin chucks one under the box of Vendetta here, and that vehicle ready to explode. That one should do the damage. It does. Inferno will fall. The vehicle up. It's over. Clearly could have taken down one of the Gambling Addicts, but nearly avoids death here. Casper being a Casper upon the Miramar terrain here, trying to make his way into the next fight, into the final fight of SWS. There's a P90, there's an M4, there's disaster afoot. Mekis takes care of him. Casper, no more Casper, down and out there for the Gambling Addicts.
Yep, it was one gamble too many, unfortunately, for them. But the fight has ended. SWS, our Slowstorm, might have played slow early on, but this is where we might see some kills coming in. 2 teams remain. It's a 4 versus 3. Both are in zone. No rush needs to happen. We've got a couple more zones to play from here as well. The gamble is like, he went for the res. a huge shout for a bit of teamwork, a bit of team play, right? In my opinion, he should have launched that nade. He had a nade ready. He could have potentially stopped Slowstorm from moving. But he went in for the team. He went for the team love. It kind of didn't work out, and it kind of allowed the door opening for the Slowstorm just to launch the util. 9 kills from them. They're launching themselves potentially up on this leaderboard at the moment. But talk about launching. Formulation Gaming, well, they took the opportunity to get to the base of this hill. Phase number 8 exposes. Looks like we are going to go into the dot, and there you go. Tech as well. He's put one down already. And got some time potentially to get the res. But also, our Formulation Gaming team, they've got the opportunity now also to move further into this game.
Always got to be considerate of the util that is in some of the bags here. Some teams carry only a few utils. You know, you would have had those first 2-3 nades, and that would have been it. And that would have been a reset. You know, the smokes were already in play. They had everything, you know, in line for that push. But I mean, Slowstorm had like 6 or 7 grenades that were just literally a bombardment of just grenades and util. So right there, it's so hard to recover, you know, after the first knock-on. So you're already scrambled. Your comms are already gone. You know, you're trying to get that, you know, that sound cue back, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, like I said, a vehicle is in the air, grenades are still exploding, and you've got FMG making the approach here as you die in the demise here. So Slowstorm super good on the util use. As I say that, Tech already had the knock. SWS did reset, but Phaeton is coming up here, and if they're not careful here, he is going to be a huge knockout to SWS's success here.
This comes down to like zonal control now. Formulation Gaming, despite being down a body, a 2-player combo can hold out a 4 now. You've got to really fight out the solo from Formulation Gaming. Just kind of be creative, trying to wait for teams to come their way, positioning for the downhill. He might even let that go. I would, because the comms are coming from the players above. Let him go, let him go. Now go for the shots, fully exposed. Now they know it's down to a 3 versus 2. The 2 are completely stuck though, and they've got full eyesight. He hasn't unfortunately got a util to go, but it's going to allow potentially the rest of the guys to move further. There should be one. Hopefully number 2 is coming up. It's done and dusted. Formulation Gaming win game number 1. It's 10 kills, but it is clinical, CC, at the end.
Ooh-wee. That looks so good from Formulation Gaming. Not only do they control the compound, they had the hard cover. They came out of the compound in order to control the ridge as well. That push from SWS was already possible by setting Phaeton up there. I mean, had Phaeton not been there, I think they still could have controlled, but man, to put him right there as literally the ace in the hole right there, fantastic job done by Formulation Gaming.
It was clean. It was clean. And you got to remember, like, 2 players held out the remaining team as well. You look at that going Slowstorm, well, they got the numbers, they got more guns, but they just held on the top for too long. It exposed, it played down. There's no cover coming down. They didn't take any cars. Very hard to get off that hillside. Even with smokes, you got to remember, if they throw a smoke down, CC, their head to store exposed for techers that's sitting in the compound. So 3 kills, clinical, 10 points, a team chasing though the leaders, which are for esports. That's a good start though to this week. Let's take a quick break though. When we come back, we'll talk more about game number 1, but we'll get ourselves ready for game number 2. That's gonna be another Miramar. I'll see you guys in a second. Here we go. It's map number 2 on GGL Flight Path. We had a south, we had a southwest towards an east, while the plane just doing its return journey back to Heathrow Airport from a northeast down towards a west northwest. Does go right through San Martin. El Pozo gets a little visit as well. We had a south. Hopefully we get a north. We'll have to wait and see. This game not too bad, and here comes that leaderboard, and a huge jump though from Formulation Gaming, claiming back second place.
Sticking it there over STFU, who was just bombarded by a barrage of blue zone grenades inside the shack. We're cut just short, so yeah, huge opportunity taken advantage of by Formulation Gaming Clan. Lost opportunity by both them and Unwanted, as they were 2 teams to go out early. They're Unwanted could have potentially caught up to Clan right there, but it's going to be a close roster between 128 points for the both of these teams here. So now they're evenly matched going in this 4th place. And it's going to be very, very close. Like I said, we're going to see, I think, flip-flop back and forth on the top 3 of those leaderboard. But should be, king of the castle here for majority of the day here. But if they keep letting Formulation Gaming, or, just if there is no stopping Formulation Gaming from having games like that, it is definitely going to be a much closer race there for 1st and 2nd.
It might be a closer race. It's a close race for you to get to the ground at the moment. As it stands, the zone does go pretty central. Lost zones at the bottom. Graveyard, minus area could be tempting. I see it play back to San Martin. Very, very dangerous start of zone. I wouldn't mind if it goes towards sort of Hacienda. I kind of like that northeast section. One of my favourite parts of this map, because we've got some really wonderful fields. Maybe for the casters and the viewership, but maybe not for the players. But actually from there, you've got to be quite creative. And it comes down to actually how much of the... util you got left, how many cars you got left, because they can be really crucial if it goes northeast.
Again, just outside that graveyard area, also another good zone. We see a lot of finishes there in that field. They've done so many updates to that area, Mark. Like if you remember, like OG, since we're in the OG Erangel state right now, if you remember OG Miramar at that zone, it was so flat. It was so much harder to cross, so much harder to play. But there was so many end zones there that by the time Phase 6 hit, you kind of had the question where you're going to play. There were some very, 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 very slim ridges. And then now there's like, a divot here. There's a play here. I had an end game there myself. And I was like, wow, there's actually so much more opportunity invested in this. And I'm starting to learn, like, PUBG has really listened to a lot of the players, concerns, comments. And like I said, you can just see the updates that have went into play. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to work when Classic Erangel comes back, where a lot of the players who, I think had... I don't want to say complaints, but had concerns on how the map was playing in certain aspects of it. I think that's going to be interesting to see kind of the exploits, as well as kind of like the repeaks from some of these different angles.
Everything I can complain about that I'm not looking forward to is just getting shot on the lobby, the waiting screen. Like we're waiting for the plane and just people picking up guns and just shooting you in the head. It's like going into training mode. But I'm sure I can deal with it for a period of time. I actually really like, and I actually really looking forward to the OG angle coming back. I think it has a lot to offer. It's going to bring back a lot of really good memories, and more excitingly, it's going to bring back people to the game. There's going to be people that are going to be looking at going, oh, I miss playing the OG angle, and just jump back in. Plus, as I mentioned before, we've got the new Unreal Engine coming, so a lot of people are going to be looking forward to that and waiting for sort of things to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised for the community to continue to grow in this 2024 season.
Yeah, man, and it's cool. Like I said, they just dropped that Shroud release with the view of Wacky Jackie. That was absolutely cool to see. Just again, some of the OGs putting in. Wacky Jackie's been so dedicated to this, so to include him in that conversation too, is always good to see. With his insight, his videos, and like I said, his intros are some of the sickest I think I've ever seen, the way he drops in and does his stuff. Like, so to allow somebody like that who's obviously got content, who obviously understands what PUBG wants and what PUBG does. Yeah, this is going to be a good, exciting time for PUBG to continue to grow and hopefully bring the player base back to the conversation here.
Absolutely love it. What we do love as well is all these teams working their way in now. And now these teams do need to sort of shimmy in. Quick couple of kills here. Foot back and forward. 1 kill apiece. T-Bone, well, we'll put another player down. Hammond lays down some fire, but it'll be pretty short. As these teams now will be looking in and looking over. Here goes a smoke. That's Gonna be a difficult res. He has to keep T-Bone's head down, or he just needs to keep going and wait for this car to sort of reach him. But I think Damien, he might be out now.
Looking like Clan having their opportunity here to kind of reset. I think maybe they're going to need to think about who they're fighting and need to think about where they're at on the leaderboard and how important this game could be to set the rest of the momentum for the day here. They've already lost Danamon, and they maybe just need to forfeit. And there goes GLS, another player now down as AT finds a good spray with the AUG. And quick headshot. Flush looking like it's going to come through as AT's right on top of him already. There it is. The flush does come through. So yeah, Clan going to lose too, and they said all about the reset right now. Reposition and replay, and hope to see some of the end game. They do have one kill of their own, but again, after a very slow, I don't even want to say there was no points in the last match here. They need to just think about putting some points and putting some placement in the right direction.
This could be in the right direction now. I'm going to be back away. Down 2 bodies. Be difficult. Be very, very difficult to sort of catch up, so to speak, when it comes down to some of these teams. And again, Clan unfortunately losing some bodies a little bit early now. I'm going to shimmy away. And as a result, does mean I'm taking some more fires. They sort of wiggle their way through. It's close. There's no one down. Final player for them. Nades inbound. Explosive. Potentially ending. Does get away with 1. Tekers though gets 1 back. Now has to relook the other way. Might be able to at least salvage another point from this one. There goes the nade. Tekers. Hey, peekaboo. Down to a 1-shot. Tekers looking to cook that nade. He wants to end this one and keep his player left alive. Nade will come in. Rolls a little bit short, but no, the car flattens him. He doesn't get a kill, but it's a steal from PUBG. Clannon out in 16th place.
Clan 0, PUBG 1.
Jeez.
That was absolutely great to catch and to watch on cam. Not only did we get to see the third-party angle, Clan, I'm sorry, man, but we were rooting, we were wishing, we were hoping that you guys would make the best of it, but unfortunately, that's not what we got. We got an opposite. We got the flip of it, and we are now, unfortunately, with Clan again sitting with just 1 point, moving into the next match here. 15 teams, and that was crazy, Mark.
That was insane. That was insane. Look how close they are on that leaderboard as well. They've got teams like Unwanted around, and BFG going to be chasing them. Gangsters potentially going to be chasing down STFU. They're going to be happy they're already out because they ain't getting chased anymore. So they might be able to put a bit of distance. Let's keep an eye, though, on that leaderboard. And said it's really crucial because it's not just about the winning. There is teams that are automatically going to be relegated back down towards that secondary division. And then we're going to see that playoff season as well. So obviously when we get to the playoffs, I'm not covering the playoffs. So obviously I'll let you guys know who is covering the playoffs. But I am covering the finals. And CC, I think you are making an appearance as well. And so far, I believe GibsonCast is going to be in for a few. So super excited. We've got a few more weeks to go before that. For now, and we're going to find the crash though. One of these teams, Unwanted and BFG, work their way in.
This is one of those long-term engagements here. You know, you don't just show up for the week 1, week 2. You got to show up the entire tournament here. Speaking of showing up, Adele, who has been showing up 2 times now for BFG, has been taken down early on. And that's definitely, one of the fan favorites here. So to see Adele and BFG just taking these early losses. Now Tommy Bob from the side going to come in here. And Sideshow Bob from the afar is just now ripping the rest of BFG's hopes down. Almost steps on the grenade there. R2N does spot it out. Trying to get that player down and off the route for Unwanted. But Unwanted has been looking so good when they play as a team. And this is exactly what we have from right now. Unwanted comms have to be on point right now. Again, remember, command center, exclamation point, and CC to get some of these teams. I don't know if we got this one in, Mark, but I'm going to talk about it.
Well, we've got BFG and we've got Unwanted, so you've got 2 POVs, 2 sets of comms, plus us waffling on this engagement as well. Unwanted, okay, goes an initial nade, came down, got the first knock. The side angle did, though, cause the biggest problems as Tico went down. BFG now need to sort of back themselves into a corner. There, too. We know 2 can be dangerous. We know being down bodies doesn't always mean that you're down and out. I'm going to try and get this res as, well, he's moved further afield. Got another angle, but BFG, well, they find themselves back to a 3, and actually it's a 3-on-3 in the compound.
Back to Bitfix here. We're trying to see if they're going to recover through the smoke. They've got the reses already under control here. They haven't been able to make the play just yet, but they have the knock in return there as God finds HPFL for the flush. So the res doesn't come through, but he gets punished for picking that res or for picking that knock up. In comes the smoke grenade just to delay some angles here as Unwanted wants to stick this res, wants to avoid exactly what just happened to their teammate. and the flush looking like it's more likely to come through. As we get back to it here, the Fluffy Bunny moving up. Hit the res on their player here. Ross is still down and out. Spots on R2N. Gets another knock on to Deviant here. Tico, the final one up for Bitfix. Does respond, does get the knock, is able to buy time for R2N to get this res. Not sure where the last player for Unwanted is, if he's going to make it in time to stop the flushes here, but in comes Tommy Bob. In comes the last bit of hope. STFU, as I say that, is maybe not the little bit of hope that they were hoping for. Waiting for Xerox to come through. This game just got that much harder inside the unpushable compound.
Definitely got a lot harder. I would say maybe it's not the unpushable compound anymore. Teams full crash, like the third play action. I like the STFU while they've tried to come in as well. There's a couple of shots. Tommy said no, we're out. That's going to give an insight that there are more teams here, and actually the boys from Slava. Oh, we're going to take the opportunity. No more ties. It's a wiggle, wiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And now here's it. But initial shots come through unwanted. There are unwanted neighbours. And as a result, they take 15th place. Not a good game if you wanted to put a little bit of distance between you and the teams already out.
Taking an early dirt nap there. Unwanted. Just, after a great, I don't want to say great, but after, putting some points on catching up to Clan, now just going to basically be sitting there. Both teams here sitting in fourth and fifth, coming into this game. Now just watching this. Formulation Gaming, STFU, continuing to just find their rhythm, find their momentum. You can see Formulation Gaming now playing this 2-1-1 split, just keeping the power, keeping themselves from having noisy neighbors here, and giving themselves every opportunity to rotate out of this zone. Speaking of the unpushable compound, one more time, in comes SU now to join the party with BFGs. STFU is still off on the angle, but here it comes one more time. Another team into the party.
So what it's going to be a push here, though, because Slava kind of arrived at the right time, didn't they, Zizi? They understood that there's bodies down. They saw the player leave away. From the killing that final player, they understood, actually, they were down numbers. So the only other team remaining, well, that's going to be BFG, and we already seen them get 2 confirms up. So it's a nice controlled push from Slava. I like it. It's looking aggressive today. Slava, super impressed so far for this week. So they haven't had the best start, but it is a longer tournament here on GGL. Good Game Ligaen, Division number 1. As I said, if you haven't and you're new here, these guys do cast divisions all day, Monday through to Wednesday, and then we're going through to the finals. So loads to do, loads to catch on with. Great amount of PUBG before we even kick off, though, for the lands later on in the month.
Again, a lot of these teams in consideration for that. A lot of good players here. Again, SDK kind of spreading themselves in this as well. So getting some NA, getting some information. And, honestly, I like that from teams here. You're getting into the region. You're getting to understand some of the competition right now. And that's the level of where we're heading right now. LAN is so close. There's so much opportunity for these players who are already flying out, who are already setting up for the success. Every bit of information, every little bit of just kind of one up over these teams here is going to put you that much further. Once you're on, the same ground at LAN, it becomes that much more harder. The pressure becomes that much more intense. And right now, I think teams are doing a great job to kind of relieve that pressure, get themselves familiarized with this. As I say, getting familiarized, that zone, going to familiarize itself with the center. Donuts up, and it's going to push itself with a little bit more comfort to waste, and making that unpushable compound that much more valuable still with that next shift,
It does become very valuable. And what will be valuable, though, for you guys in the community is to go out there, get in the command center, !CC, and do me a favor. There are 3 players that are teaming their POVs. Give them a follow. You have to click on that little heart icon. It'll ask you to log in for the first time. Log in and just give them some love. Give them some respect for the fact that they've actually bothered to put the stream on. They're able to put a 15-minute delay, and they're giving everybody such a huge insight into how these teams in Division 1 really break things down. One of the teams, well, they're on the back burner. They're able to get an initial knock here, and that's BFG. And they are on the defense. You'll hear what they're saying. Look over this one. You can do now. Comms are key sometimes.
Comps for R2N. He did that all as a solo there. Finds the knock, and the re-knock. Gets the flush onto Purdy here, but the res actually came through onto SU. Even though they're looking so good, R2N, now it's the 2 up for BFG. Had they still been up 4, had they not been overwhelmed by the amount of teams that came here, could definitely be looking good and are very in control of that compound. For now, just going to kind of coexist with these teams here. Again, like I said, it's so valuable inside that zone that, honestly, you're just thinking about endgame, you're thinking about placement, and if the team's going to allow you to just kind of sit there, it looks like that's what's going to happen for now. But RES on a deep rotation will take this outer edge, phase 3. looking to find something to call home here, and as are a few of our other teams here looking to make that rotation.
Difficult rotation here because you either go south-south, right, and that's where they're going to run into sort of GA, or did they go into the middle, take that road and go against the real gangsters? Well, they've opted to go south, so they're going towards more of a south-southeast here, but this position's already been taken. GA would have had these cars coming this way. They're going to get eyesight on, soon we'll see a few heads pop up, and there goes the first one. Talk about heads being popped up. Well, that's for esports and SWSR game number 1 second place team. They unfortunately at the end, and there's an initial knock back in that compound. So let's get ourselves back in there really quickly. As Slava, well, looks like it's one apiece. They're going to try and end this one, and they do. Down and out, BFG, unfortunately, great hole, great kills, but it's going to be too short here. Game number 2 is 14th place for them.
Down to 13 teams. We're about 15 minutes in, looking to get into that next phase. We got 30 seconds for it. That nade, a little bit shy of the confirm, doesn't even find the vehicle. So just shy of doing what STFU's plans were right there. As SWS does have a chance to reset. It's the solo member, My Bree here, trying to just maybe, okay, another nade in play here. Not cooked up, but should bounce a little bit further. So should at least confirm, if not deny possibility for that res right there, as the vehicle should explode. Okay, yeah, it does not confirm as well, but that res basically out of play right now. Would take a miracle, a hero play in order to secure a res there, but nope, there's the flush, making sure that it does go down. STFU confirms one of their kills there
cooked it
from the backside, third party. Unlucky.
I thought it was a nade. It wasn't. RES, they've gone down pretty quick. Multiple teams have gone that way, so it was going to be very difficult for these zones that are not in zone how to get in and to start a zone shift. STFU, well, teamwork makes the dream work. Bree with a great nade, if you didn't clock it in the kill feed. They actually naded first and got the damage. AAU, unfortunately, going down as well. As Formation Gaming, good game number 1 with a chicken dinner. And now looking to put some points on the board as well. SWS, we find it very difficult. As STFU looks for the final couple of players.
Cling, cling, cling. I don't know if you know, that's the point total going for FMG right now. And they're just racking them up left and right here. Now we're seeing if STFU can match that energy. They're so close in proximity to this team coming in. Let's see if there's going to be something for them to gather, if there's going to be something for them to dance upon with a victory here. It definitely make them feel nice to even that chase with FMG. But right now, playing the slow game, playing it out right, and understanding the assignment all the way through and through here. But as I say that, so is Snikey, the sneaky snake here. He's trying to find that perfect angle, perfect opportunity as phase 4 starting to chunk some damage, but he's got the blue zone, or excuse me, the jammer pack there in order to delay some damage here.
Oh, he got distracted. Oh, that could have been
Unlucky.
good. That could have been so good. Well, there's an evac. STFU will clear that one up. Unfortunately, they did go down. It is so unlucky he didn't quite get this. Well, that golden compound you talked about store remains in now. STFU, they're going to rotate their way over. Don't know if they know Otto's neighbouring. There's a couple of shots come through. Does tickle the back of the car, but not enough. As STFU, well, they continue to ascend their way now in towards phase number 4.
Ooh, not the paint job here. Got the Murado trying to make it through the Miramar terrain here, and Otto's going to make it that much harder. In comes T from the side as well. But more importantly, our game winners of match number 1 here, now trying to hold out behind enemy wives, who were able to find a lot of kills and were able to find a lot of intense plays coming out. So now may catch FMG off guard here if superiority doesn't catch this angle here. So Sandraheem, as well as I Love Horses, going to wait for the perfect time to team shoot when they see the opportunity. Bullets will start raining here. They're going to find the knock, and look at how passive and how patient they're playing right now. There it is. The opportunity comes through. One tap from the Dragunov is all it's going to take. So FMG will unfortunately have to sacrifice superiority. But in response, here they come. That, unfortunately for them, may spell disasters. You can see STFU, who's just pulled up, and they're on the chase here.
They are on the chase now. They are now. And the nade coming through. There comes a few. As they have to readjust now, mainly because of obviously the amount of how dangerous a team pushing in from that neck of the woods can be. Shots though has to back away slightly, goes down to a 1. Needs to be cautious as well. Another nade, another molly, and any opportunity. Oh, just over their head though, behind enemy wives, under the cook. Pressure of the nades, and that's another one. So close, but not down. Will they be able to find a third time lucky? I don't think so. As it goes round to the edge of blue, expecting this player to be playing the outside.
STFU in the backfield still continuing their reign of terror. They're going to find the knock and the flush on a T. SU continuing theirs as well. trades out Xerox right there for a 1-for-1. Back to the FMG fight here, holding out behind enemy wives here. Sandrahim playing on all the luck and continuing to just avoid the knocks, avoid the nades here. I Love Horses now spots out one. Repeaks. It's knocked, and now FMG down to the solo here. It's Techers, who's been huge for the squad. Now got a 1v3 against behind enemy wives. Like I said, these guys have been looking good. They've been looking intense, and they are now taking it to our top team from the last match. Techers finds one. Still 2 more to play. As the stun comes up, Molotov tries to deny, finds Avi. Not get knocked back to Sandra, back to Avi. Trading back and forth as he dances at Sandrahim, and the pressure from behind enemy wives is just too much for FMG. Formulation Gaming out in 9th, and no back-to-back repeat victories here.
No, but Techers, though, doing everything he can. He just didn't have the train to help him out. Unknown Mix, sorry. Is that there, hiding out, holding out, but the zone's not holding on them. There's 1, there's 2, the third-party action from behind from the gambling. That's going to cause them huge issues as well, as the Marines are rolling in. They don't get one of the reses. They might have the opportunity to get one more. The Marines down numbers and down on the zone. Oh my days, Viperous! That's some distance on it. And there she puts him down. Let's get some of these tanks back up so we can have a look down. We go for these final zones. These teams are making a desperate attempt now to come in, but these areas, these zones, they've already been claimed, and gambling's well. They gamble once more. This time they find themselves a new home.
Viper's felt the camera on her. She said, I gotta hit this. Quick,
I got this.
One tap, got it. Love to see it coming out there. Again, we were talking about that combo last time with Michael and Viperous, and it looks like this time we might get to see it here a little bit later on. For right now, it's STFU, like I said, who has been trying to keep that point total even with FMG, and they're pretty even right now. Both teams on about 5 kills here, but still, STFU is up. The Mad Marines back into play here with UM. As again, they had 1 loss. They got the res, and now a knock in play onto Cyrus, which I want to say for the 2nd time. So now having to get this res 1 more time. It's up to a Jaws. And bats are here as the nade bounces a little bit overhead. No knock, no flush, no nothing coming out there for UM, but they do have time to stick the res.
That's all they've got is time now on their side. It looks like both these teams have burnt a lot of U2. And that's what I'm talking about game number 1. Chucking the nades over. This time it's flashes, but it might just be enough just to stop a push, right? Both teams trying to do the same. Both teams exchanging the res, but both teams now exchange their way to get into this flat terrain. It's going to be a pretty gritty fight because it's going to be all open terrain when they have to leave these bunkers. High ground for UM. The Mad Marines, well, Marines like fighting themselves out some trenches, and here it comes. Big nade goes up. It's not going to be good. They haven't pushed over to that rock just yet.
I like where they toss the nade here, but I mean, UM is playing outside off angle of the smoke. They expect them to be using the rock for hard cover, but doing just the opposite. They're actually on that outside blue angle. And so right now it's going to come down to hits. Everybody's out of lethals. Actually, 1 more up over the top. That one's still avoided by UM. Symphonize is going to find heals right there.
Clean.
Over the top comes Steek and P with a cover from Stee. And Symphonize are a combo. They take down MM right there, leaving us with just 5 teams, 4 as we get over to SU. The Spectro down and out behind enemy wives, continuing their pressure, continuing their pull. As I say that, here comes some teamwork.
Well, you've got to be a real gangster for a bit of teamwork, and our real gangsters are doing that. Get him on your shoulder, get yourself in towards the zone a bit closer. Real gangsters on this area for a little bit of time. But we've got 4 versus 4 versus 3 versus 3. Waste sitting in the heart and soul of this one for a while. And actually, while you're in this bunker, if you don't know, it's very difficult to get kills because the ground around you is so high. Actually, there's a lot of fighting. You can hear a lot going on. It's really the spectacular play we saw from Viperous. That's huge. If you played in this area, hitting those starter shots, huge play. You're in a bowl, very difficult, and now all eyes become on you.
Ooh, there's Michael starting to come alive as well as find Skarit. UM down to 2 players left alive. Looking to confirm those kills. They're having to make the move in. Everybody's kind of got their own section for the zone here. Once this fight concludes here between behind enemy wives and the real gangsters who are just below this. Woolie's inside that smoke. They've just taken a lot of losses, but Olsen seems to be at full HP after getting the res here, so he's going to full send, tries to back Snuskadusky here. You see him anchoring in his team, switches from the Mini to the FAMAS, and that FAMAS with the red dot lines it up, finds Avi. Can he line the second up? He does. Olsen able to get credit for that one. 1 left alive. It's I Love Horses. Woolie to fall right there. This nade could be huge. A little bit too far right there, so it's still going to be I Love Horses back at the rock right here. looking to hold it out. That one, Snuskadusky gives the comms, gives it where it needs to go. And there it is. GG's for BEW. The real gangsters, after that teamwork, after securing the res, are still 2 up against the 4 of Waste inside the cover of that compound, and then 2 up here for UM.
It's definitely 2 up. 2 up, unfortunately, might be looking to go 2 out, as real gangsters need to work their way down. I do like Party Beetle. He's going to take the opportunity not to get stuck in this compound, even though the compound does go their way. Full send. Downside, though, is actually how much ammo these guys got. AWM obviously limited. Oh, Michael whistling past Steve there. Waiting for him just to try and stop. I think he got a twitchy finger. Boom! Next shot. To try and get that one. 236, not bad. Looks like 7's pretty light here as well. And sharing out. I think these guys had to share out a bit of ammo. But Party Beetle looking to expose the side of UM here and then take the fight onto the gangsters.
All right, as we get this final move in here, we've got literally seconds left on the clock here before we see the next phase 8 shift. Top 3 teams just trying to grab as much information and collect as much area for this zone as they can here, but the only one really in control right now is going to be Waste. I don't really know how UM or RG kind of makes it out of this one alive without using the teamwork, without maybe finding an opening knock here, but Party Beetle just very, very patient in his work right now, just waiting to find the opportunity, waiting to see these 2 teams engage, and then give those comms over to Waste. Right now, it's definitely their game to lose.
It's their game to lose. Here comes the blue zone, Nate. That's going to be pretty decent to try and dig out, though. Just eat. As the flash has happened, he's got to push forward, unfortunately, now. Don't forget, we've got Party Beetle really, really close. Nice seat swap over towards the other side. Party Beetle stored there. Viper's causing problems. Like, no, you're not taking those kills. They're mine because Party Beetle's cooking the nades. I think he's got a target acquired. Can he throw the Kobe? It's a long distance. He's got limited amount of time. I don't think he's good enough, but no, Michael is going to get the first knock as UM go for a full send. Snooski gets another one down towards their final player. Check yourself out on the zone if you can't wreck the real gangsters. And there we go. UM is down and out, though, and the real gangsters not even a scratch on them.
RG will not go down to the zone right now. They'll fight it out tooth and nails. You see the vehicle, unfortunately, will ghost ride itself into the Viper's territory, into the Waste territory, and it seems to be that was the only escape plan probably for RG right now. So it's going to be basically balls to the walls, full send, take the fight with the 4 of Waste right now, find the knock. Snusky's got the FAMAS, but it's not going to be an easy one here for RG.
Nope. They got the U2. Remember, no one's really pushed him either. So they're able to provide the cover. They're able to do the damage. Well, there goes Snusky. Final player is up. Final player is there. And it's going to tab out for zone. I was going to say that might be the better play because it's a team that's in and around your area. Game number 2, well, that's Waste. They were looking for it the other day. They're able to just fall short. We've seen some outstanding play. And from the heart and soul of the compound, Waste are able to get themselves a little chicken dinner.
You love the zone, and that's exactly what we got right there. Got a good little win. Yes, it's 4 kills, but I mean, they weren't being quiet. They found distant shots. They found close range shots. They found rotations. They sent Party Beetle out. They did some scouting. They did exactly what they needed to do to secure a chicken dinner. And I'll take 10 points over 6 any day of the week.
Well, Beetles like the desert, and lucky enough for him, the run across the desert, he didn't get caught. That was huge. Actually getting himself over towards the other side. If the gangsters looked the right way, if UM were looking back that way as well, that could have been a bit different for the guys in Team Waste. It wasn't the case though. Party Beetle, well, he started the party on that south side, really pushed away the team, with UM making that push towards the real gangsters. The last thing they needed was some power from behind. The power from behind went down to the gangsters, unable to clutch it up, but they're on the outside edge of zone. We have started to see though teams tabbing themselves out towards zone, guys. So this is all about, this is a league. There's prize up for grabs. There's elimination mainly also that you need to avoid as well. And when you've got teams around you that an extra point here, an extra point there, and the grand scheme of things, those things really add up. But what adds up now, I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be Vikendi time. So from the desert to the snow. See you guys in a few. It's for Kendi time. Game number 3, let's go! Good flight path. It comes from a northeast down towards a west. Maybe it's not going to be a top, maybe it's not going to be a bottom. It's going to be somewhere hopefully in the centre, Touchwood CC. But the leaderboard has changed yet again. We close things off on Miramar. That's it, done and dusted for today. It's not the top, mate, you're looking at. It's the middle. It's the bottom pack. Real gangsters. Behind me, Wives jumping up. Gambling Addicts also getting moved slightly. Slava moving up. moving up 15 and 16. I believe it. They're instant relegation slots, so they're huge, right? Look at the look on that right hand side. It's not just left we're looking at from this event. They've got to be able to levitate themselves up and looking their way in towards the top. Now 69 points and to get themselves a couple more points and into that 14th slot, mate, gets them out of the red zone.
Finally have to feel good, yeah, to pull yourselves out of that bottom slot, to give yourselves a little bit of breathing room here. Again, like you keep talking relegation, nobody wants to get pulled out and not have the opportunity to come back to something as big and as long-term as this. This is practice, 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 not only over a week, over several weeks of PUBG, over several growth and development of some of these teams here. And that's, I think, what the best opportunity you get from something like this is that GGL gives you, not only 1 week, 2 weeks, oh, okay, here's a quick little showing. This is consistency, consistency, consistency. And when we're talking about you only have 1 week, one opportunity in
one shot
major events.
Song, isn't it?
Did you notice it? No.
I did notice it. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But what I love is a quick crash, unfortunately. I called it the DA compound. Always dibbed. But Slowstorm AAU, well, they always find out here. Bit, bat. And there's always a third party though. Here comes SWS. They're playing peekaboo. Nice little holdo shotgun versus Org. Initial shot comes from the Org. Just needs to swing around, gets an initial shot, but no, there's another gun coming here as he falls back in, keeping the numbers up as Mekis goes down to a one shot.
Shotgun in play, pumps the window, goes to try to bounce that edge of the wall.
Oof.
It's got a flush spelled in it. We've got a approach made from the outside here. AAU looking to hold. We've seen this compound go both ways. There it is. The AUG finds him through the window. Nice little spray. Okay, now slowing down. Going for the res here. He's got the reknock. This is going to give SWS the reknock, but nope. There's Jan on the backfield now to take the offensive back for AAU. SWS still has two lurking in the distance here, but it's all AAU up to Jan. If Jan can find this knock, and it's making it that much harder for Snike to debate on going for the res.
Actually, he was not going to go for the res. Really noticeable there. Obviously, one stuck the res. The other one didn't have the ammo. So like, do you know what? I'm kind of dead and out here. Take what I've got and try and fight yourself out. They've got a good angle from the other side of the shotgun. Oh, doesn't quite get the connection. Nikas is the final player in the compound. And now we see the remains as they now find themselves a 2. It's difficult, we know, and you can get yourself out of a 2. It's also worth noting, guys, as a change, as I'm seeing more and more of this, people are changing their clothes when playing on. People are changing their clothes when they're playing here.
And honestly, it's worth something to have your clothes changed, to get that extra little bit of coverage here, rather than being in a bright red, blue, orange, whatever color jumpsuit that majority of these players tend to rock with, so they get that flashiness. This is one of those maps where, yeah, you kind of want to avoid that little bit of flashiness. Speaking of flashiness, Bull from the top is going to get that knock. Last player left standing is Mekis. Just spotted an opportunity with the AK, gets the knock, follows it up with the headshot. As the flush comes through onto his teammate here. May only be able to get one of AAU members down and flushed. But he's looking. Med's definitely getting scarce there. Finds a second knock. Gonna get that flush. Has no ammo.
No! Oh, he's got no ammo. He has to run away. He has to run away. Footy Sports is here as well, CC. Get anything. Get back. Get the flush as quick as you can. You've done the hard work. You just got PUBG'd.
Oh man, this is what I was worried about, was the meds on the other side, but wasn't even thinking about poor Mekis' ammo situation here. He was being so conservative, made every bullet count, and can't get either of the flushes there. Mekis, man, our hearts, you, everybody, F's, W's, something, lighters in the chat. I don't know, poor Mekis fighting it out here, but gets a chance. He's got a P Bison, and he's got the M16 now.
Yeah, at least he's got more ammo. He's done all the hard work.
Maybe PP's in the chat?
Yeah, maybe. Be difficult. Third party will come in, but it's phase number 1. Let's have a quick look at that zone. as well, goes a little bit more to the top side. Does go through the flight path as well. High ground in the middle. Formation Gaming will be looking quite good for this one, but for now we'll stay with this one. Slow Storm, well, they won game number, well, got second game number 1, went out a little bit earlier. Game number 2, they want to try and survive out, but with 1 player left on the board, how difficult is that going to be?
You know, difficulty is, you know, to each their own. And right now, you know, it's how hard is he going to make it for himself? Does he get back involved in the fight? Does he decide to just forfeit and, you know, again, play forward the late game here? It's still phase 1. You know, being that again, he had the favor in this, but now they've got meds, now they've got scopes, and now they've basically gotten to recover here. Mekis' job, which was already hard, is getting harder and harder every second that he waits to take this fight.
It's going to be harder. I think he's waiting for them to kind of fall on their sword. He needs to isolate the fights. It's a 4-on-1. Is it possible? Yeah. Is it hard? 100%. He needs the 1-on-1s. There's one. There he gets one. He's going to try and get the flush. At least going to put it on the board. He's got no util. Looking for the second. Great hits as well. He needs to back off. He needs to reposition. It's a hit and run sniper move. As the rest of the body's coming, the shotgun does some damage, but it's not that much. He gets another one. He goes for a repeat. The vest is keeping alive as the push is continuing to come. M16 super close. It's not going to be enough as AAU take him down, but it isn't clean. They're able at least to get the bodies back up, but they make difficult work from here. And Footy Sports, well, they look to be maybe going for a third party action.
I think they're finally ready for the cleanup. They wanted that final kill to come through so they know the fight was over. They didn't want to do it too early. 8C's been watching. They also they've taken down SU, I want to say, or at least a majority of SU. So they've got 4 kills already on the board here, but doing some damage of their own, keeping their head on a swivel. And this is why FUT Esports continues to stay up in first place here. Last match, they, I think, just got in the conversation of placement points there, but we're still able to massively capitalize on points. And there's AT again, capitalizing on them in a quick opportunity there. Hits every shot possible, and Jan will fall.
You got to think, if you're in this compound, CC, it's always getting a third party. There's always a team, maybe 2 coming in late. Doesn't matter how quick, doesn't matter how long we take to clear it. It's always a third party. Now, you're picking yourself down time. You're not quite in the zone. You've got to be careful, and this is why we're seeing FUT Esports come out. At what point do you go, do you know what? We're winning all the fights in the compound, but we're getting punished a bit later on the third party, or we're going to be really late to zone. We cannot drop here anymore. Big decision now from AAU. Big decision from SWS, because week in, week out, it's happening.
It is, man. These points are going to come and go, and right now they're trying to make sure that they stay in the favor of FUT right now. And there's, again, opportunities. They've got every angle covered from the side of this compound right now, so any rotation that AAU takes is definitely not going to be easy, but intense. Like you said, I think is looking to get the team inside the zone. They don't want to cost too much of the late game here. There's still 2 more minutes for that zone to move. They want to get some kills. They have 4 on the board, but right now I think the better opportunity is, to send 1 in, maybe 2 to get a compound secure, keep 1 in, but no, the whole team is inside the vehicles, and now name of the game is secure a compound, play into the final few phases here. We cannot give FMG any more room.
Nope. Unfortunately, now the team is now need to get shifted in. We'll look a better look now back at the zone as we speak. Slava's gone down bodies, and in the bunker. So we have the gangsters now pulling up, looking for some of this intel. Oh, there's intel on the bear. Maybe the bears are genetically modified. That's why they're so good. A bit like Slava, though, with Spectro. Well, he unleashes his claws into the gangsters and puts a quick kill on the board. Do not push me. This is my bunker.
Oh, Wooly, probably so unsuspecting as, we're all here getting our information on, learning about the bears, learning about the zone shift. Yep, he's going to use this UAV to his advantage right there. And unfortunately for Wooly, targets detected go from 2 down to 1. Back at to 3. And he's just continuing to watch that monitor as Clan is outside. They're ready. But he's got his UAV detection in play here.
Love it. Absolutely love it. The rest of the team's now working their way. And Vikendi coming a bit of a hotbed as well as the snow starts to melt for some of these teams. They're down to 15, lost 1, 56 players. We lost some bodies as well, so it's not quite a clean, just a 15-team full body count. Mad Marines, well, they got neighbours. They need to have a good game as well. I said the bottom of that leaderboard is pretty tight, guys. They need to be cautious. They need to ensure that they get bodies into the end zones because we've seen already numbers do matter. The zone shifts don't. It's towards the north. Formulation Gaming yet again position themselves really well, but this time they get blessed a little bit from PUBG as the drops come rolling in. P90 already in hand. Look at this level 3. When you got a level 3 bag on the floor, CC, you know you're doing good.
Right, yeah, you know that loot was absolutely stacked. Gets himself the ghillie.
Jeez.
And this is again, when we're talking about the terrain, we were talking about earlier the close and just how much it can kind of change the conversation of where we're going at the end game right here. This is one of those where you're kind of driving by, you're kind of peeking, you know, you can see the rocks peeking you, but again, if you see, you know, a bright helmet compared to just a white ghillie suit right here, it just makes all the difference right there. That much harder to spot in a long range, that much harder to spot if we see some 80 parachutes coming in, which we don't really see as much on Vikendi, but we do still see one, and I believe it's up in the air right now. So depending on where these team drops right now, Foot is making their way around. Tekker spots it out right now, and right now he is just a blip on the radar.
Well, there's a blip on the radar. Footy Sports T-Bone while he's parachuting his way in, and they parachute them right into a P90. The Grozer, but doesn't quite get the connection. Ainsley actually cuts his shoot early to make sure he can get the boot on the ground. T-Bone re-jumps as well. He's down to a one shot. Ainsley goes down. Explosive nades are starting to come in. T-Bone, he's going to get these smokes out pretty quickly if he wants to stay a chance. Maybe not to get picked up here. I don't even know if they've clocked him jumping off as they are still launching nades up and over the top of the cable cars.
Otto with a huge knock. Had he not got that, Formulation Gaming would continue to pepper shots, and we said they cannot give them any more points, and here they are in the fight right now. That's the most important for this match here. They need to either distance themselves or close this out. This is the team they do not want to drop on, but here it is, the opportunity for FMG to kind of get that momentum and say, look, we can do this. All we have to do is pull together as a team if we can take care of them. And you know what? Maybe they don't have to do anything because PFG comes into the fight as well, and they're starting to come through. T with the trade on the R2N, but in the backfield is Bitfix. Snuska Dusky for the real gangsters comes in with a fourth party to take down Adele, and this is the most complex center of Vikendi for absolutely no reason. You're in phase 2.
It's mad. Again, they both caught each other. They got a knock. Oh my god, we're fighting now for the top spot. Huge for Formulation Gaming. Dangerous though for Footy Sports. Don't run across it. Oh, keep your head down. As a repeat has to repeat the thought process, but they gotta push here. Formulation Gaming take out Footy Sports, close the gap. It might not be fully in this game. They've got some more points to go, but for now they're gonna push forward. Now comes the peak. Has to drop down. T-Bone does get a connection and puts down the P90.
Seconds too late to avoid his team from getting flushed, but again, trying to go for the res himself, trying to go for the meds himself. He's trying to just survive for right now with this team on the backside, BFG, which is finally starting to pull back. They have their own fight to deal with right now, but it is FMG who they wanted to eliminate, but they've gotten taken by surprise here. So looking to get the confirm, Nate just shy on the repeat here, and T looking to take this 1v3 to at least start some hurt and put some damage onto FMG to maybe not win this fight, but to at least do some damage before allowing FMG to move forward.
T-Bone, not just a wonderful guy anyway, but a super smart player. So he knows he can't push over. He knows he's going to cause some problems. He knows he's got BFG on his back burner as well. So he's just sort of dancing on the edge, trying to catch if he can. I think when he sees BFG, though, getting some knocks in the kill feed, he might push forward now, understanding that actually towards his sort of northwest has already been taken. But at the moment, he goes quiet. He goes sneaky T-Bone now as he's going to try and peek over the edge. He knows this is happening. He gets a full exposure. He gets a knock. Looking for the second. Sees Tekkers, but sees the Grozer. Redux into position. Takes some great shots. Puts that one and gets the knock as well. T-Bone is on fire at the moment, but he's got a full push and he goes down, unfortunately. 15 plates for Footy Sports, and it was so close for getting that third player down.
He was so close right there. They got the res on the Repeak. Repeak has the med kit, and that could have went either way. T-Bone puts up a great fight, and I honestly thought that he might get that last knock, but wasn't able to get the first aid off in time. They were so close, and it was just 1, 2, 3, and he does everything he can to put that fight in. Now it's Unwanted stepping in, maybe to take down FMG, and again, this is a team that they're close to catching up on, so it could be a huge opportunity here for Deviant.
Oh, huge. I wanted, well, I'm going to have to push away. I think they were looking for the third party. They couldn't quite see all of the smoke, so they won't push any more. Let's go back to the fight that was happening on the other side. Let's see if you do get AOU, by the way, in the kill feed. It's the real gangsters up on the roof as they're launching nades across the BFG. They lost 2 in that engagement in that third party with 30 Sports and Formulation Gaming, but they are still alive. They are still trying to fight this out here. They still have the opportunity, and they still have the zone for now. But Formulation Gaming, well, they get a bit of freedom, they get a bit of space, and now a next target acquired. Wouldn't be surprised, CC, to see Formulation Gaming go a little bit more aggressive now because they've taken out Foot Esports. They want to now get as many points on the board as they can and potentially another chicken dinner.
And they have to be keeping eyes and ears on this fight as well. I mean, R2N was just taken down. They had Adele, I want to say, knocked earlier, but it looks like Adele back on the feet right here. So BFG back to 2. And they're just, again, trying to just find every kill possible. Every kill is closer to catching up to Foot right now. And every time they seem to be out surviving Foot. So definitely having the day over Foot. That's not over for either teams. But from 70 down to 60, down to 50, you have to be making a dent somewhere. And that's what they're continuing to do here in day number 1.
Don't forget as well, if you have just joined in, we do have the POV streams as well. We've got the command center up. Does need a bit more work. Yes, I know. We're still making it pretty. I've had some great feedback from you guys and girls in the community that add the chat and stuff like that. So I have that all planned in action. For now, though, obviously, Clannon, one of these players that has got the POV on. Well, that's Glammond here for Clannon. There goes a nade over the top. STFU are here and they're fighting, though. They're on the back burner, though. Mabry is just there, but hits the tail of the player. Now going to send a nade to follow, but it's going to be a too short as Clannon is already further away.
Got the vehicle for coverage for right now. A little bit of time to survive right now, debating on whether or not to use that card to get forward. Has a nade in hand. Spell Disaster cooked great, but a little bit too high up, so will do no damage. Xerox with the repeat barrel. A little bit of pre-fire. And the stun. Should get the push to follow. From the side, Hot and Spicy takes care of Glamoond. GLS will get eliminated as well as Xerox takes down that one. Daneman will start to fall right there. Hot and Spicy confirmed, and Clan starting to take control here of this edge of the zone. The Mad Marines taking some interest onto this. The third party, not to be the fourth party, potentially into the fifth party.
Yeah, AAU looking for some points. Clannon and STFU just want a little bit of a friendly battle here, but no, there's some teams that want some points here. And then down to the final player now for the Mad Marines. Target acquired on STFU. They're down and out pretty quickly, but AAU conquered more. And the Mad Marines finishing things up, leaving the initial fight down and dusted as Clannon will take out in 12th place, though. Early kills, early steals, and it might be the freeze that is keeping these players going. AAU don't really know exactly who's going and who's out, so they're going to chuck another nade in just for luck, just to confirm out any more before we lose out this zone.
Ooh, Ace on a good rotation as we check in with these guys. They were in the center of the zone majority of the end game last time. That's what won them the victory there and put them into a great position. Here they're looking to do the same. First team to beat themselves and to beat everybody inside that zone. I say that back to the RG, the real gangsters inside the bathroom. There's 2. Is that
double tapped his own player?
Same players.
He double tapped his own player. That is disgusting. Get out of my room, bam! I'm hiding here. So it's like when you're playing hide and seek as a kid, and your mate comes into the same cupboard that you are. You're like, no, mate, you're gonna give up my position. Know what you like. Anyway, BFG, they've got the real gangsters on toe as well. There is 2 the shotguns about to come into potentially the ice. So I'm going to stay with Deldo. This is coming out. Initial shots come through. But it comes at the wrong time. Here comes the push. The flash comes through, but their players know where they are. Tico needs to be creative now. The intention's drawn. He's in there. The bathroom goes down and out. Though pre-fire comes on the other side. Pre-fire on, and he hears the footsteps on the snow. Absolutely huge. But Tico able to clutch this one up, and BFG survives this compound as a 2 still.
The duo holds off the real gangsters on a secure hold and is able to put themselves into some more points, is able to keep themselves into the conversation. But now it's Laveni looking to be fought out here as RES has to make the push across the street against the gambling addicts. They've got smokes, they've got some util here, and 4 grenades. Rufus Esports here. So let's see if they're able to find the opening knock. Does destroy the door, gets rid of some sound cube, but there's nobody for the gambling addicts here in this first warehouse yet. So they're starting to push back. Farino now looking to hold off the remaining push coming in. Stance finds Vendetta. Looking to find a trade on that, but the flush already there.
Oh,
Yerky finds one,
drop.
and then there the door finds 2. He's now got 2 gambling addicts down and out. Cosper last up here for the squad, and Stance makes his way across. Phase 4 damage, so he's gonna have to get that first aid off before it comes through. The nade
That
should be it for Stance.
Oh, great nade. Great nade. That is huge. The damage, you're right. The phase 4 put him down into the danger zone for that nade and the splash damage. Red's doing well, mate. Little drop to the knee and tucking the players in. Jeez, talk about opening the door at the wrong time. 2 remain. Reds have been pretty good on the third-party action, being quite creative here. But let's see what they can do as a 2. And they are taking a few more shots here. Phase 5 does leave them slightly. The rest of the teams now need to go in. Waste are going to be happy that they took the opportunity quite early. But look at the South. Formulation Gaming. We've got the behind enemy wires. Well, they're behind the enemy wires because the unwanted become unwanted in this fight as well. Formulation Gaming, difficult hold for them. They need to try and deal with behind enemy wires first before taking the fight south.
It's all going to come down to timing and which team you're taking first. You're going to have to keep your head in every direction right now. Down Coyote Dauphin and the rest of the behind enemy wives have their backs clean, but Formulation Gaming having creeping up, having unwanted on the backside, and then also having the behind enemy wives here who are eventually trying to make the same push as them. Tackers is inside the zone already for FMG, so he's going to hold. He's going to keep that angle at least bought right now, but it's really down to how the teams play on the backfield. Sure, he's secured Formulation Gaming. Sure, he's got some points on the board, but they've lost superiority now, so he's just going to have to play the silent snake, and he's going to find some coverage, find some brush, and maybe end up securing a few more points for FMG again. Everyone at this point is going to be huge.
Reload that P90. There's a free kill and a half. Thank you very much. That's a duck and cover. Unfortunate though, Tekers obviously now needs to survive up. Formulation Gaming, I think they're the biggest losers here in the sense that they had such a good opportunity to catch more. I'm not going to raise you phase number 5. Just give me a gear. See you later. Did go down towards zone. Wants to make sure there's no confirm on any other team or player taking that still. So that's why that player took that one out. But back to Formulation Gaming, they had the opportunity to close the gap. Arguably, they've done some. They have closed it down with 30 Sports going down slightly early. But they really wanted to keep the bodies. They really wanted to keep the high ground. And more importantly, they really wanted these kills here. Behind enemy wives, well, great knock from Waste, but cleared up from the wives.
Just took a little bit longer, I think, than they expected to close up the fights here. Once they took care of Foot, and once they had the control there of that, so many other teams just started to take this southeastern part of the zone here, and it was just a much more difficult rotation. You see teams on the east, teams on the north, teams like Waste who are in the center of that zone, again, just big chilling. And, you know, it really just comes down to where teams were playing and where they rotated from, and that southeast side was just heavy rotate, heavy fight, and then, again, just heavy contested. So, to see any team still alive, more than one, is kind of surprising right now. And Deviant just continuing to eat some blue. P90 still in hand, trying to make it forward, but eating some first aids. 5 more in the bag.
He's got 5-4 now. He's got 45 bullets left in the chamber, and he's got 2 players right in front of him. He's got to take both of them out with a 45 before having to try and swap over. He goes for the molly opportunity, though. Now he misses the molly, shoots down to 17 and doesn't get the knock, and he doesn't get time. There we go. Didn't quite get it right, though. Unwanted, unfortunately. Unwanted to the blue and claimed for a 3-point.
Man, just sitting here like, what just happened? Aren't we fighting behind enemy wives? And then all of a sudden, here comes the shot. I Love Horses drops a nade, gets 2 down. Skareet has nothing left to play, so he's going to have to just forfeit his position, try to find some placement, try to find some points for the team inside the zone, but it's pretty contested. We've seen Tekers try to do something similar here. Lasted only a few seconds before, again, the team starts to scout and realizes that, hey, where did that vehicle come from? And actually doesn't even get a chance to stop. Tico, yet again for BFG, comes up, gets the knock. It's a little bit of flames, blades to glory, and we're now down to 6 teams moving into phase 7.
Let's wait and see. So there's a question in chat though. Obviously it's quite hard when you've got a 50-minute delay. So 15 minutes time, you will have had this. But yeah, 30 Sports, no, they haven't dropped VAR. They have to have the players from the region. So that's why. That's all. BFG, well, they take a tumble. Good place. Arguably very, very well done for them in a difficult couple of zones. And they find themselves now just out before we get a 4 versus 4 versus 4 versus 3. Very, very high numbers. And Waste will be blessed and happy they took that early wrap into this location. And they knew the train well. They knew the dips well. And let's see if they can close out a chicken dinner again.
Yeah, again, a low-profile kill count here, but again, it's all about the information. It's all about the way that they're playing this that just makes you respect Waste that much more. Sure, they're quote unquote gifted the zone. Sure, they're not having to make too much moves, but this is early scouts. This is rotations that they did not just land themselves in. They planned, they made the move early here, and it's paying off for them huge right now. So continuing to avoid every crash, every fight. They are just literally getting games in their direction because of the information. And Don Quixote Dauphin has been huge as well for the team. Almost stops the P90, but saves a few bullets, which I think is a nice little bait right there. Gets him to hop out of the vehicle. He feels confident enough to line up some shots, lands the last few, and behind enemy wives, comes up with some creative tactics to be one of the top 3 teams here for our match here on Vikendi.
Oh, I think for a second here is that I'm going to swap to the AWM, but if I miss it, I am dead. So he just stuck the last couple. Oh, good shots now. They're getting exposed. I kind of like this area. This end zone here is just all about angles. Some people like to take like head-to-head battles, face on. Let's go towards the end onto the wire. But actually, sometimes it's not about fighting down tunnels. It's not about fighting straight ahead of you. Look left, look right, and you might find teams exposed. And we've just seen a great example of that as Waste will put another 2 on the board, 3-5. They're climbing the kill points. It wasn't a huge kill last game, but it was a chicken dinner. When you can bag and potentially another 10 points, they're driven here. 4 versus 4 versus 1. One's DBNO looking for the res. I'm sure they're going to get it, but it's going to allow the opportunity potentially for them now to get into ward zone.
Starting to make their moves forward here. AAU does get back to 4. They get the res onto Fenray. It's back up to about 70 HP, 2 kills apiece. For majority of the team is Ebro looking to join that conversation. Jan trying to make that move up. They've got I Love Horses pinned for position. They haven't quite spotted him out yet. They know that there's still 1 player left. As you can see, some of the players' reticles still looking in this direction. They just are unsure how they want to make the play there. But the idea is that there is 1 more player there. There's 9. Obviously, they can still that kill count or the player count left in the top right. So there's 1 team. They know it's Waste. There's also a potential for somebody else to be out here. And here comes I Love Horses. We've seen Big Nade last time, but he's got no lethal util, so it all comes down to how he plays his Groza.
Oh, these guys are outside the zone. It looks like a waste at the moment for a chicken dinner again. They're the only team in. Oh, he's got a player to his left here. He needs to be cautious. How far does he go? You're right. They haven't dropped the ball. I just don't think they know exactly where the player is. But you can see him spinning around. They're still keeping an eye on it. Now he's going to hear the footsteps. He'll go a bit quiet. Lays down. Groza's got 174 over 2. Oh, and there's some free heads there. Hasn't got any heavy util, but he's going to flash it away potentially. He looks for the P90. He looks for the opportunity to hit their big player down. He does put the big player down. Waste will love this one. Waste will get aggressive potentially, but they've got to deal with the other player. AAU 2 versus 1 here. You take it with a Groza. It looks like it's coming through. There's one. He's going for the second one. He repeats. He surely should get it though, but it's going to be down to the zone. It's going to cause him huge issue. No, I Love Horses does back it, and it's a 4 versus 1 versus 1, and the horse as well. The stallion goes down in third place, but arguably he's caused far too much damage for AAU to try and draw anything left from this game.
The solo Ibra again with no kills, trying to find something here at the end, but I Love Horses just eliminates every bit of hope for AAU right there. That is a Waste chicken dinner.
Back to back, baby. Back to back as well.
Solo.
Back to back. Mate, the horses, well, bolted from the stables, taking apart AAU. Very, very huge game. Disruptive play. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. I Love Horses. Huge person in the community. If you don't know who this person is, anyway, he's got a website. He does his own fantasy league stuff. He's got a fantasy league for this as well. He's got the leaderboards that actually show the relegation. Huge player. So massive shout for him. Not just picking apart AAU. That was disgusting, CC.
That was like, what are we watching? Like, normally we obviously expect that. We're like, all right, this guy's got it. He's going to make the play. And then reality happens, you know, where, again, you're in a 1v3 in a situation like this. But, man, I Love Horses gave us everything that we were looking to see in that fight. And then, again, you know, third party comes in. Waste, who is just, again, their information, their timing has been perfect for that match upon the rotations. Upon the third party pickups, they went from 3 to 5 up to 7 to 9 to get the chicken dinner for 19 total points. Like, Waste back-to-back chicken dinners, Waste back-to-back early rotations to get themselves in that play. But I Love Horses, we just can't ignore that.
And it was huge as well. If you might have in the command center, you might have to map up and you might have been able to read this the same as what we're looking at. But the Waste was outside the zone. They took a gamble to get to that location. The gamble paid off, and it's their knowledge of the terrain. Michael led the way. He's a huge player anyway. Led the way to that location, But it was there for the win, and they found themselves a little dip. The high ground behind them couldn't quite see down to them. They're able then to control the fights across the terrain. The zone comes down to them. There's a bit of PUBG luck there, but yet again, Waste find themselves centralized up in late game. And yes, you might not be getting all the big points that some of these other teams are doing. But if you've got a balance of placement points and you've got a balance of kills, well, you're going to be doing a lot better overall when it comes down to the league in the consistency. So I wouldn't be surprised for Waste maybe to work their way up. They're currently in 9th, I think, top of my head, maybe 10th. But after this one, well, they should be sort of leveling themselves up. Let's level ourselves out for a quick break as I grab a drink. We'll come back. It's going to be Tago time, and then we're going to roll into the Oracle. So all green from here. See you guys in a few.
Don't test me.
You don't impress me, so don't test me, nah.
So don't test me. Nah. Don't test me.
Yo, you don't impress me, so don't test me, nah.
So don't test me. Nah. Don't test me.
Yo, they wouldn't let me. Man's gal wanna come undress me. Swing with the right, but I might go lefty. I make plus with it, so don't test me.
Don't test me.
They wouldn't let me.
Let's go! It's Tago time, babies! Flight path though coming from the south up towards the north CC, but the leaderboard, woof! A little bit of a change in that mid pack.
You want to talk about coming from the south to the north, up to the top of the leaderboard? Wade's continuing to climb in that consistency, man. What were you talking about? 6th place? They just jumped on from 9 to 6.
Yep.
3 positions that are coming up right now. Clan, again, starting to get closer and closer. It was Unwanted in Clan, kind of playing the position, kind of playing this 124, 128 battle. And again, they've kind of just been letting the field open, and Waste is taking advantage. Waste is coming in. They're cleaning up. And now, with Unwanted started at 124, they've climbed that chart. They've closed the gap, and they've now put themselves at 124. So Waste joins the conversation for that top climb right there, top 5, looking like it is a big possibility for Waste to enter, as well as Bitfix, who is sitting there. They had a few players. They're getting their knocks. They're getting their stuff. As a full 4, if they can just continue what Waste's performance is and match that 4 energy, I think Bitfix is going to be another team to look out here for. But 2 of the teams there in that middle of the leaderboard, Mark, continuing to just find their rhythm, find their momentum. And again, over a long-standing run of games here, I think that's definitely got to feel good for these teams.
Feel good. It is. And said before the break, that balance. You get your placement points, you get your kills. Look at Waste, right? Behind them, why arguably have been better at the very beginning of this event. And they're more stronger on their guns. I might caveat that because we've got Michael and Viper as the dangerous duo. But with 87 kills, historically, well, they would be above them. But now because of the superset, obviously we've got the placement. Placements mean more. Waste getting back-to-back winner chicken dinners. That's a difference potentially being in 7 for 6 here. And that'll be the same as they roll up. You look above them. They're on 49 placement points. Now, the next step is they've got to get themselves in the 50s. They're 1 point away. And one to decline. And they're fighting at that level. They're in that kind of top 4 spot. But they've got to close down these next couple of points. Huge games from Waste. They're on a rhythm. Let's see if they can continue that momentum to maybe push up. It's also worth mentioning AAU. They're the other team that got the big shout as well because they have jumped themselves out. Another good game. Yes, they did get picked apart by our solo horse, but still good. 69 kills, 25. They're sitting on 94. They've had a slower start to the event, but they're now climbing. That's a big jump from them. Another 3 spots have been taken off. They're sitting in 10th. They're looking to get themselves now on the left-hand side of this leaderboard.
And yeah, Gambling Addicts, another team who's put some consistent points on their SU as well for on the right-hand side of the leaderboard. Their opportunities today continue to present themselves, and they're taking every opportunity, but there can only be so many teams to shine. And again, I think just today overall, we're getting to see how stacked this lobby is and how everybody can kind of have that showing. Everybody can kind of find that game to put it in. We see kill points, we see placement points, we see consistency, we see inconsistency. And right now, it's just coming down to what you're bringing to the table here. This is week number 1, really, of that finals of kind of what we're getting into for crunch time, what we're going to call it. But there's still so much more play for these teams here. So rotations, early on plays, and again, just information gathering over the next few weeks is going to be huge.
There's a bit of a bait there from behind me, where just popping the single shots, not giving away that there might be multiple people in the compounds. But so Stormwell and take a slow approach and not quick the actions here. They are going to put up on the outside, just have a little scout, look over the open terrain. It's worth noting, right? I say this all the time when we come to Tego, but if you are new here, obviously, Grant, if you've been here a few times, Mark, God, stop repeating yourself. I get it, guys. Tego and water, hand in hand. And actually, a lot more of the other maps now, we see the water play, we see the unplayable hold on for so much more. So as a caster, as an observer, what I'm looking at here is that northwest corner, that whole river. But don't forget about the river that runs in the east. It's not clear on the map, but it's a tiny, that's what slows down. We're looking over. The drops are going that way. We might see an east shift here. So if all these players come in thinking it's going to come back down to the southwest, it's going to be find themselves that phase 2, that phase 3. If it shifts away, CC, it's going to be very deadly for some of these teams.
Gang Nwang could be absolutely great for a finish. I don't know if I've ever really seen one in that direction in a very long time. But that would be absolutely great.
That'd be huge. That'd be huge. I've seen the hill just northeast of it, and obviously the just out obviously west of it, that sort of bowl at the bottom where we see sort of Slava sitting at the moment. That's a huge area. We see so many endings pulled down, but that's because of the water. That's because of the train, and I suppose the algorithm that sits around Tego. But I say that it's more and more. That it's not just Tego anymore. I've seen it more in Miramar. I've seen it more in Erangel. So PUBG clearly changing things up here when it comes down to where these end zones go. And Slava, you get spotted here from Clannon. And again, quick reminder, if you're not on the command center, is it in beta testing at the moment? Glamond is casting for Clannon, so it'd be really good. You would have heard the comms that they would have seen a player in front of them, and obviously they'd be addressing that and making their way around and avoiding that compound, as you can see. So I think the target was the compound. Saw a player, didn't see the player move, but they're repositioning somewhere else now.
A nice early scout. Not only that, he's a solo scout. He seat swapped in order to get that scout out for the team right there. So good information. Clan's absolutely done with dying early here. They're like, we've had enough. We've lost, enough points. We've lost enough opportunities. And this time on Tego, we're going to be the team that everybody's talking about. We're going to be the team that third parties, that fourth parties, that gets the early rotations. And again, speaking of those early rotations, here's Waste, back-to-back early rotations. Now, again, let's see how they react after the phase 1 shifts. I'll be curious to see where they're going to play for Tego, because not only did they get it back-to-back victories, they also got back-to-back victories on different maps, on kind of different zones and different opportunities here. So this is a team that seems to have their stuff kind of compiled and put together. And as I say compiled and put together, they're going to grab a few more care packs to compile their loot and stack up that much more.
Well, Unwanted, they send 2 cars over, actually stop and shoot back, and I think that's part and parcel that they've got players coming now as well, so I think that's a bit of a bait. That's a huge IQ play. The smoke just about provides the cover, but I don't think Gambling know actually how dangerous this is. He's on the run back, and it should be exposed. Now he figures it out. There's not just the 2 that have gone over. There's more of them coming. Great knock. Fluffy, well, I think that game plan was down to you. It was a stop, it was a smoke, it was, hey, look at me, shoot me, because I'm waiting for my players now to confirm you out.
Nice little bait, nice little teamwork coming out there from Unwanted, Gambling Addicts, who we were just talking about. These guys can get some kills, can be very effective in the late game here, but just a little bit spread out too thin right here. Unwanted also going to find Waste. Showy, who was spread out a little bit too thin from the squad, trying to grab some information for themselves there, but there's 1 loss there. I love the care box.
I love it.
Right there.
I like that area. This area is really good. And if obviously we talk about water, if it plays up towards this sort of northeast, I really like this area. I think it's quite powerful because you have that section that they're sitting in. That's kind of where Waste we're trying to hold. You get so much intel from the north side of when we're wrapping around, obviously, and if you've got anyone coming in from the sort of west or actually northeast from where we are, but you're able to sort of really pick apart. Oh, that's going to give away your position. I don't think you have any idea that you're going into the beast now. Now you do your turn down to a 1 shot and didn't all the shots to the tires. That's going to mean nothing now. You've got to be cautious. Nearly going down to 1 after hitting that wall as well. So cautious here from the Mad Marines. Got to get dialed in. These players already trying to play in the north. Here's a car there. Up, up, up. That's the spectators flipping half. I love it.
Tommy Bob, I say absolutely just he's got it. It's in the mind. It's in the mental. You ever seen SpongeBob where he goes into the box and he pretends he's in the car? That's exactly what's happening right there. He's moving, really, okay?
100% on the move. Clenham, they're on the move on Slav. As I said, they saw the compound. They moved further around. I think they've now spotted the additional, so they're just scouting out. I think they're trying to get intel. It's phase number 1, 16 teams. For Gendy actually being actually more aggressive than normally Tego is, which is good to see. But I think it all comes down to actually we don't know where the zone's going to go. There's no real clear indication. There's lots of options in most maps anyway. But with this one, I think a lot of these teams are thinking about this water. You can see in reposition. It looks like most of these teams are favouring a potential east shift.
I'm curious with Unwanted's position here. I mean, again, it does go to that north side very often, but Unwanted's kind of playing a very risky. We're gonna walk in, but they're also playing a very quiet, because there's gonna be nobody really to take that gamble like they're taking. So they're playing not really a secure compound. They're playing on an off angle. They're playing on kind of the ridge of the island here for Tego here. So we'll see how that plays off for them. But all against us, who we've seen have some early on games for this team as well, now moves themselves into a compound here just outside of King Nguyen. And again, we're all, I think, asking the question now, where does this zone kind of end up, in that east or west side? And then we're going to start to see these teams full send, capitalize, and kind of make that play from there.
Yep. So the Waste fans have arrived in chats as we now get the Res team arrive on Clanham. 1 knock on blue zone and no confirm just yet. But Res will be looking to get some points now. And Clanham will be looking to try and get the Res maybe, but they're going to need some backup. Zone is going to shift. Does go actually towards the river, maybe arguably a little bit more on that north side, but we do lose the north side completely as we see the Mad Marines. Well, they now leave over. That may could be good. Oh, it's explosive, but it's the gunshots from New York that put him down.
Clan coming in, AAU coming in for the third party. They've made the push in too. They're wasting no time. They want every end. Ibra's going to get some. Fenra gets a little bit, but Rest takes 2 of their own right there. It's a little bit of a shared dinner on the Clan. Clan just cannot seem to survive into these future games. I mean, they came into this in a very high position and are going down now. Here, he gets the Res, literally reach out and touch me, saves him. Vipress.
Vipress! God, she's got a bite and a half. Where is she? She's actually somewhere halfway across the map, somewhere known Fire Prince. Where is she? Is she here? Oh my, I'm gone. My days. Fire Prince, that was
I'm done.
disgusting. Oh, I need to look at how far that was. Oh my
Bifocals,
days.
trifocals, quadruple
Oh
focals do you
my
have on that
days.
scope? Oh my god.
Oh my days. Oh, that was far. That was far. Jeez, that is a snake bite and a half. Back to the zone, it does shift. Obviously, we've got the water on the top. It does play across down towards the middle. Mad Marines need to come over. They did try to go over that bridge, and we did see them getting turned around on the mini-map by Unwanted. 30 Sports, though, coming in a bit late. They need to have a good game. They can't allow the teams to close the gap and catch in. A bit of his gaming looking to come in. There's a bit of room, bit of space in the fields. And this team's holding out the outside there. There's still a split decision here, this CC. There's still teams thinking it might go east. There's still teams thinking it might go northwest.
Right now, yeah, it's kind of a gamble for both. You're going to have to take one or the other, unfortunately, in order to get this in. But Slow Storm, I thought, had a big opportunity to take down SU, but they're driving. They're driving pretty dang fast in order to avoid that from happening right now. But HC will not let the Mad Marines drive fast enough past them, as he's going to catch one. Gets to flush out there, and actually just down to Patzer. They've seemed to basically lost every member of their team, trying to find somewhere to call home. I mean, they're comfortable with the water, but the water's getting pushed out, and the Mad Marines are just getting that much more uncomfortable here.
Getting chased, mate. He is getting chased. Look at Foot Esports. They are hungry for some kills right now. Whoa, drive by, and there we go. Mad Marines out. Might have overthought it, but the Pack Wolves from Foot Esports, though, will end them for game number 4.
Jeez, Butt was on the full send right there. That happens to be often in ranked right there, and it just feels bad. Feels bad. You're that solo player left, and you try to get away. You try to salvage points for your team, right? And yeah, there's some players out there that will not let that happen. Will sacrifice honestly their game to make sure that does not happen. Butt doesn't have to sacrifice anything, but they do take down a team here. 13 teams, 49 players going into our final few phases here. We're getting out of phase 2. Getting us a better opportunity to see what phase 3 and what the end of this game is going to look like. As AAU spots out a dangerous situation on the bridge. They're going to rotate right around.
Going back for this? No, I think they might be going back because they've been spotted there, right? So they might be looking to be creative. We'll find them maybe to split. The zone does shift. And there we go. We have the East Water. And Slava, well, not just in the moment, but they're in a dangerous spot. Tippy toes under pressure, zone going, get in the car and shift. Health, well, there's no magic. The player decides to leave you and gets called back pretty curly to get the extraction. You can drive across the water here because it is shallow enough. And AAU do position themselves as a 2-2 split, but unable to get the knocks here. Missed opportunity from them. Slava, they might get away with this one.
Purdy pulls up like, here, I'm going to use your side. You take the shots for a little bit. We already took all the pressure, okay? Speaking of pressure, here comes behind enemy wise, trying to find Formulation or Gaming's compound here, but held off well right there. They will push back behind enemy wise, finding the second one. Techers to find Don Quixote Dauphin. Not sure if he's going to get the flush, but the vehicle will make its way back to AV here if he's looking to use this for rotation, but they're going to lose 2. Have the solo AV left inside the compound right there, and we're just cruising for a nice little ride with our vehicle here. SWS making their approach, and AAU down to 3.
There it is. There goes the full send from Foot. STFU sitting in the heart of terminal. No flights leaving for them just yet. Might be grounded as Sports now. We'll take to the high ground and look back towards the guys. And we're looking to get some more kills. Aggressive stance. I think they're trying to make up for a missed game. They want to really keep the split. And these other teams between first and second and give them a lot of breathing room.
Speaking of breathing room, Futt also getting some care packs to just live and breathe. See what they got. They got plenty of stuff to go through, and they've got, again, a hillside for days to play off of. So again, big rotation, big little celebration there for Futt to kind of hang tight right now. But AAU trying to keep BFG across that bridge right there. If they're not careful, here comes Tico from the side. This could be huge to relieve some pressure for BFG, who just got knocked again. Adele's trying to go for the res. Yep, there's Tico and R2N from the side, starting to pressure AAU. Haven't quite yet found the knock, but they are starting to do damage. They are starting to allow this res to come through across the way. Tico just needs to land a few more shots to get the knock, but not able to get it with that ridge providing coverage.
Res can't happen. SWS causing them problems now at the moment. Our gamblers, well, they're going to climb to the unwanted hill. And obviously the unwanted hill, I don't know if they know that Footy Sports, it seems like a little divot just a little bit further down from them, but you see the kill feed raining up. It's very difficult now for AAU, unfortunately. Great game, they've got +3, but there's a solo, 2 kills, 13 teams remain. Got to argue how many more points they're going to get. It's a full send at the moment. Let's see if we can find himself a centralized compound as the mortar fire will rain fire potentially on this top zone.
They've definitely played more of the aggressive play this time for AAU, which seems to be kind of more of a defensive team. They've set up for some kills. They've set up to try to catch some momentum this match, which I respect for AAU. But now down to the solo, yeah, how far can he survive? Big nade from Kami Bob from Unwanted. Another one to follow, trying to find something inside the zone there as the rest of BFG down to now R2 and Adele inside the blue here. Looking like it's going to be Bitfix Gaming trying to take this nade in a 2v1 against Tommy Bob and Deviant.
Could be a huge nade. Cooked it. It's been flashed. That's unfortunate. He goes down. Final player now from BFG really far out. Going to be able to get some free meds. Phase 4. Bit of distance. Only one player remains in front. Maybe Med and Drive might be a good shout. Maybe we see the Waste team take on Footy Sports. They're going to give all these teams potential to now work their way in. Footy Sports, though. T-Bone, he's going to be looking one way. Can we hear the footsteps now? And here comes Waste. Oh, and he misslides his foot placement on the little temple. That costs the opportunity now to get a knock. And Waste, well, target acquired.
Waiting for nades here right now. That one's close to T, but he will avoid the damage. Those prone pops up, finds one with the help from AT to find the second, the third, taken care of by, I want to say, T for that one. And that was just clean, quick, and collected kills in the form of Fut right there. Talk about them finding their rhythm, and this is why Fut, again, like I keep saying this, in the top, plays like that don't happen by themselves. That right there was absolute beautiful.
It's going to be very hard for some of these teams now. Down to numbers, 12 remain. If you go for a full send, it might be a big Starbucks on the third party action as we speak. And again, I think this is all that they see Footy Sports. They see him in the kill feed, and they're kind of, you become a target when you're this high up, right? You become the object to center of attention. I feel like teams are just going full send for Footy Sports at the moment, just trying to take whatever they can, trying to stop these guys getting in.
Presses are good. Unwanted is back to a 2 here, edge of the zone. They do have Fut to deal with. They do have SU, who's a little bit further than Fut right there at the edge of that zone. And the Gambling Addicts, once they step into the zone here, but nope, it's T already spotting out Deviant here. He's not done with the fight just yet, so he's going to close out one inside the blue. That's going to be a quick confirm by that phase 4 to phase 5 damage here relatively soon. RG getting in the fight with UM, but the full send from the last player of Unwanted, trying to find something much like the player of AAU in the vehicle. He's got himself a push. It's going to work for now.
It's going to need to work for now. Well, I'll push this now. In the south side, there's like these little dips and crevices. So I wouldn't be surprised. It may look like they're an open train, but these teams are trying to make a play. Molly, not too bad, but it's going to be short on the players. They go over the top. They've still got the res to happen. They need a player really to start to stick some more shots now. And one further back. That's a huge nade. That might actually get Brandis now. It will bounce, but no, it does bounce. Unfortunately, gets swallowed up. And now here comes the push. Solo push over the top. Catches another one. Gets a confirm. There's another. Oh my God! The M249's in the grass right underneath his feet.
Steve can pee. He can also peek apparently, and he's gonna catch that man by surprise. Talking about hello, goodbye. That was the quickest in and out from Tajuk, and he gets some nice kills. Gets a nice peek over, but is instantly put back down right there as UM finally gets taken care of there. A little bit of help from RG as RG peeks over the top. Now it's SWS trying to recover, trying to set some smokes up to get this push back into the next zone here, but the real gangster's not going to allow this reset to happen there. The solo 4 behind enemy wives is just across the way as well. It's all these teams still outside the zone, but Wooly has their entry way in, has their information. Right now, it's close to flight with SWS as they've done. The final player to fall right there, RG, takes 3. Solo behind enemy wives, AV, now trying to creep his way away from the fight.
Right, shifting away again, back towards Terminal. Formation Gaming are in the heart of the zone, looking to maybe get their opportunity to have another chicken dinner underneath us. They did open up this evening on the first Miramar game. They got the winner for themselves. And Wasted, though, have claimed game 2 and game 3 as it stands. So Formation Gaming might be looking at this one going, hey, we might be able to get this one if we don't get crashed. And there's a lot of bodies on the outside. 9 teams, only 22 players though, CC. So huge teams losing numbers.
It's coming down to some battered and bruised teams right now. We have 2 solos snakes that are very, very close to being inside the zone, but are not yet. That nade, who hits the car, bounces over the top. That one is going to hatch and roll. Unwanted is down and out. Tommy Bob tries to get into the placement, but just outside in 9th place. 8th place goes to AAU, so the solo at least does bag 1 more point for the squad before getting eliminated. Down to 7 teams, 20 players, and now we're starting to see our more full 4 players come into the final few moments of pubs.
Remember, STFU obviously have come from terminal, so drop zone. So quick turns, hot and spicy shooting the player that was in the bush has been told that there's a 1 shot in the middle. So nice redirection from the team themselves. Be working to effectively put the 2 guns into the right place. 2-2 split from STFU. They've received a knock, but Hot and Spicy should be in a good spot now just to get the res as he crawls his way back. I like the smoke launcher, the speed at which you can get the smokes out is big. Slava, well, they were chasing down, but it's so open here, CC. Like any push, maybe a step, maybe 2 in the wrong direction, well, you become a third-party bait for other teams eager to get some more points.
Everybody's looking on that northern angle right now, realizing that care pack just dropped, so it doesn't help. That brings the attention, obviously, up in this angle. They haven't been able to take or salvage anything from the care package. Right now, it's a matter of just survival and trying to find your way down right here. But they have majority of the northern part of the zone, phase 5. Maybe going to keep them in play here as we shift down. They don't have too much of a journey here. They do have 1 player already in who's got themselves, a way in. And I want to say, yeah, this is Elf and myself right here. So we'll see if he's able to hold down AV. If he can take down AV, buys SU all of the comfort they need. They've got terrain, and you can see the way Tago's kind of laid out in this kind of corner of the map here. This portion where SU is at is really providing coverage against the rest of the zone. But now in the final fight against RG as the full send comes in, Wooly confirms T with the pull-up. All left in 10s, but third-party shots coming in all across the way. Elf myself finds Olsen. I want to say STFU from across the way is also doing some damage.
Doing some huge damage. There's a blue zone 8. Intensity's got a huge hill to climb, but he's climbing it. So over the top, he's got the AUG, he's got the 2 times, he's got a clear, and he puts another couple of points on the board. Footy Sports go numbers. Don't go down when it comes down to firepower. Intense, a huge player in the scene. Put some points, get himself back in, but now needs to try and deal with this big push though that's coming in from STFU. As you can hear the cars rotating. Oh, he's been exposed already. Gonna get a re-smoke back out as the smoke's going, but they don't even need to push in. Huge fire coming in from the M249. The U2 is gonna try and end it. Will we see another explosive car in there? Don't think he's heard it. It's gonna pop. Let's go past him. He's gonna get the med just on in time.
Heads are up. Another lethal almost catches him there in 10s on the edge of that smokes. Now drops up the foldable shield to just avoid any more damage over the top. Hello, says Ben. And he's gonna catch him just on the edge of that smoke, literally. The edge of the smoke, just not providing the coverage there. And down to 5 teams, 12 players. They're now 1 team away from the top 4.
I like, again, STFU, we saw a little bit before the fight that happened with Footy Sports. They weren't comfortable with this east side. They constantly were looking over here, and arguably so, they do find that solo player, and it will send us into a top 4 position now. It's 5th place to be taken. And look, get yourself in a top 5. Take it, right? As a solo, take it. Motion Gaming, well, they got 3. STFU, they do sit with a 4 and 5 kills for themselves. STFU obviously sitting on the top side. They've also got 3, but they've got 7 kills. And then we go down to our solo warrior. Well, the gamblers have gambled not right this time. It's only 2 for them. They are in zone. So it's phase 6. Could it quieten down? Yeah, potentially. All these teams are now in. But look at the terrain here, CC. It's difficult. If you see a zone shift the other way, especially for some of these teams that lurk on the outside, it's going to be very hard. The flat terrain, the little bumps and little hills sometimes doesn't fully get you covered.
Yeah, it's only going to provide coverage from certain angles, and it's going to expose you to others. So it's really going to come down to where your information is at and where you're kind of keeping your head at. You need to be keeping movement in play here. Vendetta realizing that, again, his angle he needs to cover is up top. To the right side, he should get some comms before somebody comes over the side of that hill. For now, he's waiting to see SU come down around this hill right here. So should be into the late game. He's got care packs above him as well, so can easily sneak past using those for coverage from those east side angles for now. Yet west side pushed out. Vendetta will have to move towards the care packs. SU having to come down off of the hill here, and that's also going to leave STFU with his anchor from Mybri forced to send in as well. The only comfortable team right now seems to be Formulation Gaming yet again, which this is how they won match number 1. Could potentially spell that this could happen for our 4th match here on Tego.
It's difficult. It's so open here, right? It's just like, I think this is going to come down to who moves first, might die first. So Slava might be looking at this guy. We're not going to really get maybe a chicken dinner. It's going to be quite an uphill battle, maybe a downhill battle is the right word. But I think STFU are the same. They're like, well, we're not in. We can't really wrap south. We're going to get spotted. I think both of these teams are going to wait 39 seconds before the blue zone starts moving in. And it's kind of like who played chicken first. I think we're going to see both these teams go for a full send. But there's each one of them have got like a bowl in front. This would be the one, obviously, we're going to see the guys come down to for STFU. They've got arguably less of a distance. This one here is horrible. They're going to play themselves through the middle and down. But they've only got a tree. They've got a couple of rocks. Would they go full crash? And it's Slava who makes the first move. Unfortunately, though, Formulation Gaming pick up our solo. Difficult play. They found themselves to reach these cars. Need to stay alive. That's going to cost them a lot of smoke.
Lots of smoke. Speaking of smoke, I can see smoke inside the smoke, so I'm not sure how much life that vehicle actually has left in it. So this is probably the last time it's going to be taken for rotation. So it's probably a little bit too risky to hop back inside after this. So left for dead right there. It's going to be SU holding off here against STFU, who's now sent Ben kind of scout out and keep these guys pinned in that little valley right there. If he can keep shots down where they need to be, gonna spell disaster. But Ben also having to be very, very careful. He's got no vest, the helm ready to be shot off. So it's really just going up against the body here. And again, 2 shots almost take him down there from the mini. And that just lets you know again how much his armor is pretty much beat at this point.
Oh, he got it. He got it. It was for Elf. It wasn't even for him as well. And straight up. I thought he was going up to the top. I thought it was a sneaky player. The pans up. Massive hit out the car. Not too far away. Hot and Spicy proving why he's got that name. He's Hot and Spicy underneath pressure. He's got another one. He's got another one. He's going to launch it surely up into it. Oh, doesn't quite get it, but the car is going to go this time. But Slava, don't get teased up twice. And he just get unfortunately pressured. Formulation Gaming going to cause some issues as well. Benki tries to go aggressive, puts him down to a 1, and Hot and Spicy, well, final nades cooked. Can he find anything on the remain?
Ben was just letting it go with the M249 prone right there. And unfortunately, I mean, he gets capitalized on by FMG, but does find 2 huge knocks. Somehow SU is finding a chance to recover, does get credit for 1, but inside the smoke, inside the flames of the vehicles here, they're using this for their opportunity as the blue zone will push them to the edge of the vehicle here. They're going to be able to reset. They're going to be able to salvage what's inside the boxes here. Now the 2 of SU still alive, but having to move forward to this zone. It's FMG again, just continuing to control this zone and continuing to be patient and passive and how they're playing this end game that should secure them the victory.
Not even just where they were. The amount of utility this team's going to have. They're going to be stacked when it comes down to their end. Well, Hot and Spicy, he gets extinguished, unfortunately, by Slava as they now need to start working their way down. Formulation Gaming love the movement, love the control. They've got the zone. They understand when they can and can't take over certain areas. Push themselves up, find themselves pushing their way back. Xerox has snuck his way around towards this sort of south side. He is on white terrain, did not get out of his Vikendi gear. He's going to might be spotted here from the Formulation Gaming. Full control. Surely it's a Formulation Gaming win.
Surely enough, like I said, these guys have been looking comfortable. STFU spread it out a little bit too thin and didn't make the crash, I think, soon enough onto FMG here. And I don't even know if they had vehicles to make said crash or util to make said crash. So it could have been very, very difficult for STFU. I think it's done a great job surviving for now. But Repeak spots him out, barely missing the headshot there. Gets to the tree. Hits him in the cheeks.
Cheeks and ouch though. Hey, we go for a top 2 at the end. Here come the nades. As I said, Formulation Gaming arguably coming into the last little section here despite missing a whiff of an ear. We'll take him out and he's making up for it now. There's one looking for the peak again. Spectro might be walking into a Bolty or walking into Techers. They are coming in. There's another bomb shot and then he gets it. Final kill. Done and dusted. Formulation Gaming, second tinner. And out of 4 games so far, only 2 teams have conquered the chicken.
Talk about a very spicy dinner. I don't know if the prep's going on, if we haven't gotten the right ingredients to get so far. It seems to be just out of the reach here for quite a few of these teams here. The 2 teams that have found it have made it look good each time. It's not like they're walking in, getting a gimme, getting a freebie. They're putting the early rotations in. They're getting a high kill count here for FMG. Waste is understanding the rotations, and it just seems to be when you can understand that end game and you put yourselves in a valuable position, you capitalize.
Well, when you capitalise, here's when you want a chicken dinner underneath your belt. That's 2. So Waste picking up 2, Formation Gaming picking up 2. No foot esports in the end of these zones at the moment, so both these teams are going to be happy. Waste have been climbing, but they didn't climb as much though in this one. They actually got stopped by foot esports though, coming in from that north side. Difficult end zone that one. Formation Gaming played it right. It feels like at the moment today, CC, it's about if you can get to the center compound, you stand a good chance of getting a win, which it kind of feels like it's old PUBG, right? It feels like it's back to that old school PUBG.
That's what I was thinking.
Centralized compound hole gets the win. Well, 4 games in, looks like it's the case. Let's take a quick break though. We're going OG, not quite all the way back to the old school Erangel, but we are going to Erangel after this one. Game 5, Game 6 is coming up. Well, well, well. Game number 5. Let's just talk. Michael messaged me. He clipped it. He hit, people. He hit 963.1 meters. Viperus, who was a step and a half ahead of him, hit 956.7. Mate, you two need a time out from the game. No more. Well, game number 5, it's the northeast down to the southwest. That was insane. That was insane. Michael, turn your POV on. We need it in the command center. I know you can do it. Stop humming and ahhing. Hashtag everyone tell Waste POV next week.
POV coming out from Michael. We needed that live stream. We needed that sent our way. We got to feel the impact of that. However, the showing from start to finish to see, like I was asking Mark, why are they looking in that direction of 10,000, meters ahead? Why? Because Michael wants to be on it. Because Vipers wants to follow up and give us something to talk about here. That Waste, if 2 back-to-back victories wasn't enough, I guess we're talking about Waste.
Insane. it's just
crazy.
Discombobulating me. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm lucky. I got a high resolution monitor. I've got a really good graphics card. I can play this game in ultra res. These guys and girls are playing it in lowest quality because of obviously playing esports, right? Let's take that into account. But some people's monitors can't even see that far. Like that's insane. They're like shooting people from outside a fair distance. That's just not fair, Waste. It's just not fair. Michael Viperus, tut. Anyway, zone has gone in the middle. We've got the water at the bottom. Watch that one, but we have a bit of water at the top, so tempting it could go either way. Talk about Waste. They find themselves in South Georgia. They've got neighbours down the north from Res. Over on that west-hand side, though, we've got our stallion from behind enemy wives. And then south of them is the unwanted. No change really on the drop zone. Foot Esports, though, will take ferry in the surrounding compound out by the snowmobile. SWS find themselves Gatka. No change. Formation Gaming, for those that watch the interview in the middle, they do like a pachinki. It's a new team, but it's generally speaking, that's where we kind of see Formation Gaming go. AAU, a little bit going to be on that old Navi drop zone clan over towards their east. Further out on the east, though, well, we've got the gangsters in shelter, and they're moving their way to prison. There's something to be said, though, when you've got a gangster locked up in prison. UM, when they find themselves in Roz, good split, actually really wide split. All they go across that new boatyard. Slava take on for Yaz. Mad Marines are at the top of the hill, and Stauber as our gamblers. Well, there must be a casino in Kamenetsky, and filling it all up is BFG in Severny with a little bit of a rotation down. There's not really enough on that top side to hold. It'll be really interesting to see actually which way does BFG roll here.
And rotation going to be huge coming out early on for our teams, given that majority of these teams are not even close to that plane path after they're given drops right here. It's going to come through a lot of teams for rotating behind enemy wives. Teams like Unwanted are going to have to take a very difficult rotation through some of these teams for not a whole lot of compounds and coverage here. This is one of the zones where you more play or less the plains, the terrain. You kind of play off of things, more or less in things. Yes, the hardcover compounds will be valuable towards the end of it, but at the start of the things, of the zone shifts here, you're really going to be looking to just kind of favor yourself up and more or less fan out through this part of the zone right here. So you can see AAU starting to do some of that. They've got quite a few compounds of their own there in the middle of that zone. Given that this is kind of off their drop right here, Clan doing the same thing as well. Just spread their power in multiple compounds here. The more noisy neighbors you can eliminate and avoid coming to the party here, the more you stay in control of this zone and the more opportunities you go to pick for the end game right now. So early game, really not going to do too much for these zones. It really comes down to how the zone shares and fares for the final few phases. So phase 4, phase 5, we'll have a better understanding. For right now, it's AAU Clan taking some great positioning here for early on positions.
And it might go the other way. It might go north. School Flats, STFU, let's not write them out just yet. We've seen a lot of Potato Hill recently in the scrims. That'd be interesting to see how that ends. Looks like BFG, well, they go for a free on the E-pickup as one of the final players. Well, it's going to be taking the car, bringing that car in. And then this is going to be about scouting because there are so many end zones that are possible from this first zone pop. Like most first zone pops, let's caveat that. Wrangle's obviously well rehearsed. We have a lot more than others. Those heat maps that you can find online. Well, I like this. There is an advantage to what BFG are doing at the moment. They're kind of looking their way. They're trying to figure out what's in front of them. They're going to be picking up the cars that are below them. Maybe I'm looking at Arn as the wrong person. They're looking one way. We've got potentially Tico completely scouting around. We're in their view at the moment. So just looking for the cars. They're gathering intel, and that could be key. The downside, the further they go south, though, CC, is the further away they get from their one man in the car.
Yep, they make the journey that much harder. And after all that scouting, they're going to pull up onto the compound that SWS is thinking about. Two different teams from two different approaches. Air, land, sea, sky, whatever we got going here. We've got a couple of different approaches. SWS pulls off, but BFG does commit to the drop onto AAU here. Have to forfeit the final player who's on the hillside there. Ibra debating on whether or not to come down or chase the slow storm. He's kind of still making that decision, but he's going to come up to the underside of BFG, maybe provide that off angle here for AAU. For right now, it's off Jan to hold her own. No, is going to get taken down. Jan down, Adele and R2N able to confirm and piece that one out there. So just one player left inside the compound, and Ibra on the approach still.
I think Ibra would be disappointed wasn't going to the top. When the information was coming on the roof, when going north on this compound, it could have been completely exposing BFG. They're able to get down. It's quite difficult. Didn't quite catch the cars and the scout coming in. But you know what? They've done well. They're able to keep the numbers up, but they've got a solo body now that has to continue. This is a big rotation. Potentially a lot of teams in the way, but as it stands, BFG trying to find a way around Potato Hill now.
Yeah, majority of the teams starting to move out of that Rosox school area down further and further south, realizing again that's kind of where the zone's going. It's going to take a big potential for that zone to shift north as to where it's at right now and continue to shift north. So teams are realizing that, again, the middle play in the middle of this Erangel map is where they want to be, though. Tico was huge for BitFix Gaming last time. Him and the duo of Adele. Unfortunately, Adele down this time around, so it's all left to Tico. And then HPFL finally joining the party here for BFG. Gets into the conversation. Brule to find the knock. There is another player already on the balcony, so I think HPFL, yep, at this point is just going to forfeit the fight. Not to play, and there is a solo compound just outside, so this is probably where they'll lie to wait.
Difficult, right? You needed that fourth player. They're trying to bring a car. They took a risk. They got some bodies down, but the car was just too far away. Unable to help. It was a 3 on potentially a 4 fight when it comes down to the end. The advantage came down to AAU with the initial knocks, and Tico, yeah, star player, unable to get the Stardust there now. Formation game where they lose tech as they're down to a 3, as they have been encroaching on sort of Potato Hill, but you normally find teams up at the top. Well, the teams that are getting the points. STFU already parked themselves here after even scored them flats.
Back to the attention. AAU is still in it with SWS here at the compound. They're kind of coexisting still for right now. SWS read the kill feed. I think they understood after they drove past that there was a lot of damage done. So we may see them after this 2-2 split falls pull back. But there's the third party coming out from 8C as he's going to find Snike. And I'm not sure if he's able to confirm there. You see Grandy's already there with the smoke and with the potential for a res. But 8C spots that out as well. And if Grandy's isn't careful where he puts himself on the tree, 8C may pick this one up too.
Looking for the crossover. Doesn't quite get it. There's another M249. Slow storm well. There's nothing slow about that M249. He should be quick on this res. Yes, he's going to take a few more shots here. And Marines, I don't think they've quite got the rotations right at the moment, the Marines. Sometimes they hit and miss and find themselves. They're risking here. I don't think they know actually dangerously how close have they come to things. See, a UM, well, they've lost a body as well. And as I said, we normally already hear if you've got your head on a swivel, kind of get away with it. Mad Marines, while they risk it, they find themselves a free compound now. They are scouting ahead, but pull the cars into the garage. Won't be too bad. Down bodies already. Down to a 2 yet again for the Mad Marines.
Depending on how you play this compound can either be very good or very bad. And sometimes very hard to rotate out of there. But the Mad Marines will find a place to call home for now, too. You know, may be the magical number for these guys here moving forward. We've seen him with 1, we've seen him with 4. Let's see if 2 in the center of that zone gives him a better chance to survive for now as we watch Formulation Gaming start to move out of Pochinki into the outside houses, using that Pochinki field, using some of the updated versions of Pochinki field there, potentially to their advantage. And then in comes another team who we've seen with I Love Horses continuing to do big things behind enemy wives, kill counts, totals, moving forward, and we're going to take this Erangel Bridge and enjoy all this old school or this new Erangel, before we get the old bridge, before we get the old outside of Pochinki with no coverage, no trenches, no nothing.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you know?
that's all coming back. Yes, CC.
Yeah.
Bridge camping, let's go.
Like I'm telling you, we lose the entire bridge. It goes back to a regular bridge here. It's gonna be different.
Yes, good shout, good shout. Well, good shout from behind enemy wires because they have gone for a full rotation round to the other side. The FG unfortunately going down, 16 plays for them. I just think they took a gamble when it came down to how they rotated and it didn't work out. There goes that shift. We do take the water on the south side. We are finding themselves in kind of default area. TFU, well, Rez come rolling on past Mabry. Even what a cheeky's done now. He does a complete 180 on him as he spins around like Destruction Derby. Archie's like, nah, mate, you ain't tapping me and I'm gone.
Hey, Yerky with a little bit of meh, meh.
Yeah. Meh, meh, meh. Yeah, you getting me, bro. Love it.
Oh man, that's something normally you do, you know, when you're playing on a regular pubs game, you're in the middle, you're just having a good time, you and the boys, you and the girls, and you just come in there and you just get a little bit of honks through a busy section. Normally you don't come out on top, but hey, there it is, a little successful honk, a little breach and clear there to grab some info. But here's Waste. This is the early rotation. Okay, let's highlight early rotation from Waste. Is this gonna be another victory winning rotation here coming out from Waste? Center, they're just outside the 2 Mad Marines. They got AAU off peak, but they also have Formulation Gaming, who is our other team here for victory here. So these 2 teams who have been the only 2 to get victories, very, very close to one another, and there can only be one.
Yeah, I think they've positioned themselves quite well. Are they going to keep the cars? Potentially not. Are they going to come under a lot of heat? Yes. I think they're going to get some knocks. I think they're going to farm some damage. But we've seen this from Waste, right? Low kill games early on. They do survive out. The call comes from Party Beetle that there's mortar fire coming in. You heard the car, just not going to be pinpoint accuracy, but it's Formulation Gaming taking the opportunity now just to be a bit creative when it comes down to the fight. Is it them? Has to be them, right? No one else.
Inside the smoke. I was thinking inside the smoke. Maybe that's why I was down.
I didn't see the mortar come out from the smoke. No.
Oh, and they've actually done. So I want. Oh no, it's still not in play. I was wondering if they did the explosion damage for the ground and all that. Seeing if it was in range.
It got taken out, didn't it? Because it was bugging.
Copy. Okay.
That's a good shout as well, actually. CC, game number 5 is your game. You're on fire. If you're taking mortar fire when they put that back in, you're actually giving, if you're not hitting the shots, you're giving that team potentially more of a trench, a bunker to put yourself in, to hide yourself away, right?
I mean, yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. That's also like kind of like a offensive move. You know what I'm saying? If you fire enough in, you don't have coverage, you're not going somewhere.
Exactly.
You can now create a trench. You know, right?
Yeah, like literally, okay, well, we've got a huge rotation now ahead of us. Bam, 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 bam. Land there. And maybe even arguably, if you time it right, you could maybe follow in the mortars. They hit in front of you. Yeah. You got yourself a little trench, hit the handbrake, get the car in. Maybe as a caster, we'll follow them in and they mistime it and we see the car explode. But that could be a good shout. Interesting. I'm also really looking forward to the emergency flare drops as well. I think they could... Well, what's huge at the moment, well, that was that shift, and unfortunately, it doesn't really go Waste's way. It does fly across. They are on the inside. Will they risk it, or will they hope for the zone to come back? That's what we're going to have to watch out for. Phase number 3, a lot of teams now need to work their way in, but 2 teams that don't need to do anything are these 2. Behind enemy wives and our real gangsters. The gangsters have broken out of prison, now find themselves on the very much the east side of the zone.
Got the buddy system working out for Snuskadusky and Olsen. They're actually sending it for the pickup here, it looks like, from Wooly to get involved on this as well, but coming in from the side, making the rotation around Unwanted. And again, they're a little bit quieter here this time for Erangel, but it looks like they have no idea that Unwanted's here. Tommy Bob's going to get a huge opportunity with Faraz. Faraz is going to open up first, but T's going to get him out, spots him out. Not aware that there's one more player.
Oh,
Tommy Bob goes for 1, goes for 2.
Someone clipped that. That was pixel perfect. Go, Rez. Oh, it's going to be us getting back up. Jeez Louise.
Just in time for the res to Unwanted picks up big kills against a FUT. Opening the door one more time for Formulation Gaming, who's had the zone this time, who's had to come off of Picado, excuse me, Pochinki there.
Mate, you're still like in game 1.
going backwards now here. No, into Pochinki, they're making themselves a rotation, but now to the north side of the zone, we've got the fight breaking out with RES. UM, who's worked themselves out of the bottom relegation spot to get themselves into talk today and get themselves into a little bit more security here. Now has one more fight at hand over to the side behind enemy wives, getting back into it now with the real gangsters. We've seen this fight start to break out early, but here it's at its full head. Don Quixote Gilfay over the top, finds one off to Blanky, who's got the bolty, the last alive for the squad here. No kills on the board yet.
Oh,
Behind enemy wives is looking good. The bolty, though,
Oh, not quite a shot.
comes
Neck
in
shot.
big for Blanky.
Big shot from him. Is it a hit and run? Did he take the opportunity to back away? I think he's looking at it. He knows he can't get it confirmed. The scout ahead. It's going to be the shack, which will be the destination. Look, behind enemy wives, he's not going to lose them. They're going to come in. They're going to res. They're going to check that shack first. They're going to check this next shack. And after that one, they're going to check the shack further down. So he's just doing what he can now to try and survive out to late game. It's going to be difficult. There's a lot more action we need to tune in before, and that's STFU. Well, they're rolling in. They've still got the bodies. There goes the smoke. That's kind of telling me they're still wanting to push forward on this at the moment.
Looking to close out RES further, and the quicker that they do it, easier to fight they're going to have against who's sitting in the compound above, but RES pulling off, using the compound, or using the coverage of the ridge here to join up with Stance right now. Now the three of RES watch the STFU as they pull off the opposite direction. Teams will just opt to forfeit the fight for now. Think about the end game and link up with the rest of their team. So from 2 to 3 and from 2 to 4 here for STFU. Here our squads group up, and our phase 4 zone does get a pop here, keeping the 2 Mad Marines centered up in the zone. Waste barely on the outside of the edge of the zone here, but still in conversation. So it's not a center zone for Waste, but still looking pretty good on their control for the zone. Most of the teams have rotated around Waste, giving them their back free and allowing them just to focus forward here.
Well, they gambled. We seen Waste go centralized zone, right? Didn't work out. The zone shifted away from him, but they kept their cool. They're like, hey, do you know what, guys? It might play back to them. Zymel plays back the headshot, though, to And the zone did shift back. We see a lot of endings in that neck of the woods. And actually, what's happened for them, they found themselves now still on the outside edge. A couple of shots on the gun. Well, that's not going to be enough, though. Ivor taking the shots down to a one shot. Tucks himself back into covers. He's the final player now for RES. But he's got closing in. He's got STFU closing in. And more importantly, he's got phase number 4 about to overrun him.
Here it comes, pushing it on his backside right now. STFU is just lurking in the distance. They want this fight to conclude. They're not going to step any further towards phase 4. They know these teams have to step in their direction here, so they're going to allow the blue zone to do what it does best and force these teams forward here. As there it is. It's going to take down RES. No time for the first aid to come through. Down to 3, and now having to move forward here with the Gambling Addicts. And then unfortunately, STFU, who is already inside the zone. So these two teams going to start to fight it out. Going to break it out. STFU should pick them apart.
Mabry is insane. He's just going creative all the time. Whoa, Waces are pushed in. The Marines are here. I don't know if they know they've got one. He's full 360. The bodies are waiting, watching. Nades come in. He's got 1 kill on the board already. He scrambles his way and just gets his through as the tippy toes forced on the hills. But they're on the hills at the moment. That's Waste. They're going to come in thick and fast. They know they can't allow him to get any opportunity to get res on. And Waste will take the compound away from the Marines.
Molotov could have done him huge justice there, but just a stun. He does the best he can with what's in the bag, and he's going to unfortunately fall. Ooh, barely misses the run over right. Oh, no, I think he actually might have got him. Able to capitalize there with that run over here. Down to the solo player here. He's going to pull up just behind enemy wives here, leaving Gambling Addicts. Actually, no, with 2 on the side here. But again, STFU was ready to close out on this fight once they seen it break out here. Mybri has the nade cooked up. Spots out Cosper. They're inside the zone, or excuse me, inside the smoke, but just shy of that nade. Won't confirm yet. Xerox creeping in, and again, the comms start to come through for STFU.
Really, I feel for him. He's chasing kills. Everyone else has got a kill, and they're like, mate, you're not putting your weight. We're on 4 kills, mate. You're not putting your weight. He's chasing kills down. He's being creative. He's forcing teams into the other bodies or away from him. He just has been unable to get any connecting shots enough to put one on the board. He takes the opportunity now to go back. So another steal from his team as Xerox and Hot and Spicy were NGG, and Mabry Store left with a Krispy Kreme donut. 0 on the board so far. He's looking for anything he can, but if a pre-fire comes in, doesn't quite find the player as he's laying low, and Hot and Spicy, well, he's going to end that one as well. And STFU creative, aggressive, but no kills just yet.
Check 6. I think we got our next poll. How long does Mybri wait to get his first kill?
Oh, done. No, in check, he's mostly already done it. It's mostly on there.
That is the top tier right there, Check. Top tier.
He's a great mod as well.
Back.
Great mods. I cannot moan. I've got really, really fantastic mods that engage with the audience, which just makes it a much better experience for everyone watching. So yeah, big shout to the guys and girls that do mod the channel. You do put a lot in, and as a host as my channel, I solemnly appreciate it.
Gratefully so, man. Like I said, it's definitely entertaining to have something to vote on, to give yourself a little bit of a, again, your voice to be heard here while the rest of us are kind of talking. The players obviously have the main stage. We come through, we get an opportunity to highlight what they do and how great they do it. And then again, it's good for, the chat to come in and have their opportunity to say their 2 cents and say that, hey, this is what we like, this is what we don't like, we think this works, we think that doesn't work. And again, I think, as Mark said, like, we really do appreciate that feedback to give us something to work off and something to kind of grow and work with too.
Yeah, and Mix obviously now finding that they've got a team where they didn't think they had a team. They're gonna roll on. There goes a smoke down. I don't think you're gonna get much more. The unbreakable ship is pretty breakable. Roll their way in. Tommy is gonna go down. It won't be long before that gets blasted apart. Try and expose him. And in a good spot. They're in the middle here. AAU eventually go down. We're in the point pot now. 9 teams go down to 8 with 26 bodies left on the board. It's game 5 out of game 6 though. This week of EGL. So best of 6 each week, guys.
3 times scope just going to work right there. And again, sometimes it's not about the distance, it's about the accuracy. You can see the 3 times was just lined up right where he wanted it. The Mini 14 with next to no recoil just made that look easy. I mean, is that Mybri? Did Mybri have a kill? Nope, not yet. 7 for STFU, so we're still waiting.
He's such a good player as well. Such a good player. I think he's going to be disappointed at the moment, but he's doing his shift. Sometimes it's not about the kills. It's about how you force cheap players and teams into the rest of your team.
Down. Speaking of STFU, has a final member of BEW spotted out. Isla Forces.
He's got one.
Down and out. Yep, they finally got it, and it was for Mybri. Okay, so it's only about 3 minutes. That wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. We just had to highlight him.
Had to highlight. Talk about the highlight though. Waste obviously lose the compound now. They're working their way out. Formation Gaming. They're going to be on the toes of this team because they know it's only them 2 teams that are getting the chicken dinners. I think if Formulation know and annihilate Waste, they might be in for another chicken dinner. Here comes a nade. He might be close enough though, but quick seek swap from Michael puts him into the safe spot. He's going to now just get a med on, but the smoke will become the target for the util that is rolling in. It's rolling too far. Do a couple of nades. Car's going to explode though, and he's going to have to re-smoke before he puts that next med on.
The game's breaking down. We've got Formulation Gaming down to 2, Waste down to 1. We may see a new victor here in match number 5 as Erangel bears its green pastures here to take this one away. Peak is going to get knocked. Michael to 1v1 with Phaeton, and Michael is on fire. Yet again, living true to the name right there. He's got 3 on the board all day for the squad here into the top 5 teams. So double kill, placement kill right there. As he's going to get not only 1 for the kill, but also for the placement. That's huge for Michael. That's huge for Waste. And unfortunately, FMG out in 6th.
Big shout as well for Michael, obviously PNC world champion for Team UK, and also he's just put a new montage out, so go check out his YouTube. He's put a new montage out. It's on most social medias, so if you've got a link there, if not, send me a message, I'll get you a link to it. If you're not, give him a follow. I love watching the pro players montages. There are always funny clips to be had in there as well. 3 kills, they're all from Michael. He's got no more players. He's the sole ranger, so it might be 3 kills up, but he's 3 bodies down.
Get into the next zone is going to be very, very difficult for him to do. You can see, again, Clan's kind of got him pinned down. He's got smokes. He's got some utils. STFU now on the 10 kill total there. Just massacring the lobby this time around. So finally finding that momentum here on Erangel. They've been kind of sleeping. They've been kind of down. Clan as well has had very, very bad games early on. Just eliminated with really no chance. This time, 2 kills only on the board, but still they are inside the top 5 teams. They're in the final zone. They've got all 4 players left up, and I think they're the most comfortable. We said right now it's center zone. It's find a bunker. It's find cover, and you end up in that late game for the victory here. So the Clan understands the assignment. Let's see if it works out for them.
I think Founders just missed Michael's head, but they're doing the right thing now. They're They know the danger is going to come in from this sort of west-hand side. I need to figure out exactly where and for how long. But let's quickly tune in for the action, though, on the south. STFU, big hitters so far, though, in game number 5. First of all, trying to do everything they can. They were shy of a chicken dinner, but they're going to be shy again. We're going to go straight for our top 4 now. And, well, let's scrap that. Top 3, Michael will go down. Right play from Clannon. They've still got 4 bodies up, though, but we're still in this top section. But this time, you're right, CC. We're going to have a new logo on that break screen for a winner chicken dinner.
Finally, using the opportunity for both those teams who have not really had difficult rotations to get inside the zone, but have had a lot of fights there on that edge of the zone, pushing themselves in. STFU, I think the most likely to get this chicken dinner for sheer kills that they have. And again, they're at 10, but Purdy Curdy and the rest of SU has 6 in the bag, but they have been nonstop firing, hot and spicy, doing his thing. Xerox has been huge with 5 kills. And again, we've finally stimulated Mybri, so there's still 8 more on the board, and there's opportunity for Mybri to continue that charge.
Yep, there is 11 kills on the board. It might be a team effort anyway. As I said, Mybri, he's just a good player, right? He's working his way down. He's being aggressive. He's pushing teams in and around. He's not just sitting back. I love it. Let's have a look. Actually, damage-wise, if you're rocking his way up. Don't forget as well, you mentioned these teams obviously work their way in eventually. As a result, they find themselves pretty much settled now as zone giving its way down. Top 3 players, but it's 4 versus 4 versus 4. Numbers remain. It's going to be a complete heavyweight battle as the teams. STFU knocks Clannon, Clannon knocks STFU, and Slava, well, they're looking for where are all these shots coming from and how can we get some more kills on the board for us.
This should be a Clan win just because of how close SU and STFU are. If Clan plays it right and they can third party this out and not allow these teams to reset, could be golden. They've got to make sure that they don't allow the push that's happening now to come through. If SU gets to that compound and starts to take this fight, that's going to allow STFU that victory right now. It's going to come down to, I think, play. Does SU go for Clan? Does SU hold off STFU? Whatever team gets held off here, as long as one team is able to step up into that third party, this could really go either directions. Timing, timing, timing. If we don't talk about it enough, is what's going to finalize this game.
I think you're right. I think who moved last win. STFU, with that knock, might be looking for a push. They haven't really got the intel in the south, so logic is they're 4-man up, but they're pushed for the compound. I'm actually going for Slava. I think Slava might take the win for this one. Knock happened with STFU. Here comes the push. This is going to be huge now. They need to get nades out. They need to get defense, but there's 4 guys in the car. You should have stayed on the gun. They're going to try for the bounce now round the outside. Nade is down and out, but STFU come rolling in straight into a gun, 1 HP, but he goes down anyway, and STFU, well, they breached the compound.
They are opening the doors wide open for themselves here. Breach cleared, hot and spicy. I want to say it's the last left alive here on the 2nd floor. Mybree's still bleeding out. He has members, and yep, it is the last team to come in that should have the victory, and SU waits for the time. They hear the opportunity. The bells are ringing right now. Purdy's already at the door here with the P90 in hand. And if that's not secured enough with the positioning, with the timing here, that gun should secure victory here. Purdy Curdy and the rest of SU time it out right and are now just looking to hold out this fight here against STFU and Clan.
Well, goes to a 4 versus 4 versus 4 to a clean 4-man hold here from SU because they've got the zone, they've got the opportunity. What can these teams do? That's a full commune. I think STFU done the right thing. I think it's about pushing after that knock. They didn't have the intel on the south, so play the intel that you know. Unfortunately, lose some bodies, but during that, as I said, it was always going to be down to SU to capitalize and take as much as they can, and they took everything away from these teams now. Elf gets a knock, and then down to their final player. That's Glamandal, person on the POV. That's going to be explosive ending for them. And now we go down to our final players. And, well, the boys from SU are already up and top and close out the compound. 14 kills though from STFU. This is a huge game from them.
For the way that the rest of the day has been going, this is absolutely great. Second or first, hats off to STFU finding these 14 kills, finding the rotations, and finding their way through the flames to fire in the smoke of match number 5 here. Hyper will find Mybri trying to find his way back up. Stopping at the spray of the stairs. Purdy comes in with the P90 to finish off the rest of the deal there. SU, Slava Ukraine, he comes through with a huge victory. Quiet, unlived, 9 kills, but there it is from SU. Purdy comes to shine and is now 19 kills, or excuse me, 19 points further in the conversation.
Kills, 19 kills. That's STFU, mate. Good game. I know we gave him a little bit of stick, but I like the creativity that we saw from STFU. Just to break what they were doing down. It was a lot of plays. Mabry was kind of like herding teams in towards zone. They held the high ground. They dropped that school Rozak area. They played down. Waste obviously had to push their way in. They fell short. Formation Game also fell short because they lost the bodies. Obviously, BFG didn't quite work out that rotation quite early on with that 3-1 split. Really, that last player coming a little bit too late. But Slava just controlled that bottom side. And it was down to STFU. I think if they got a knock on Slava, they would have pushed that way and then it would have been a cannon win. I feel like the aggressive team, which is always going to be the one with the most kills at that point, after getting a knock, just looked on fire. Good push. The win went to our Slava team. I actually think the win in my eyes went to STFU. Huge kills. Huge game number 5 to OCC.
Definitely not a bad for any of the top 3 teams. And again, glad to enter in the conversation right there. Finally finds themselves out of the first team eliminated into Intergale. So yes, it's not a chicken dinner. No, it's not a lot of kills, but it is a definitely step in the right direction for Clan to continue that. They came in the top 3 positions. They came into the conversation where I thought they were going to kind of play this leapfrog, and unfortunately they got leapfrogged over. So good to see Clan as well find that momentum here towards the end of the day.
Yeah, they needed to get as close as they can. Chicken dinner. It was good to see a new team, a new logo potentially on the break screen. And it is the break screen we are going to go out to. It's our final game. Game number 6 going to be coming up, though, for GGL Division number 1. We're like on week number 4 now. So huge opportunities. We'll come back. We'll look at the leaderboard. We'll break it down, though, from game number 5. But we're going to throw it down to game 6. And game 6, well, the antics are always mad. Anyway, see you guys in a few. Here we go. It's game number 6, and it's another opportunity, or maybe the final opportunity. Depends on if your glass is half empty or half full. The flight path is a southwest up towards the northeast. Most probably one of the better flight paths that we had all day. Mighty teams are going to get the opportunity now to sort of land up. Big shout though, obviously with Slava to get in the opportunity for a winner chicken dinner to actually skyrocket their way a little bit higher up, as they now sit themselves in that 9th place spot. 21 points, not too bad. It definitely feels like today has been more about this mid-table pack. A lot of changes, a lot of shakes. Wakes are behind anyway. Well, they up and down basically when it comes down to the take of the placement point, but they're not closing the gap. Cannon's still able to kind of hold them both at arm's length. I think some of that actually comes down to what we saw in that last game. Cannon identified that Waste were coming in, and actually, even if it wasn't Waste, it was the right call to stop that team coming in from the west-hand side so they can play from the compound down. But I wouldn't be surprised. It is game 6. Game 6 antics comes with a number of opportunities for some of these teams, but I do feel like for esports have actually been actively getting hunted down slightly now, as they really do focus in. They drop down normal drop zone, not too many different shakes here. Res go for that top spot, GG's obviously go for that gamble again on the other side, and Waste, well, they're the only ones that find themselves at that top side. Zone, though, for CC, it does pop down in that southwest corner, pretty much at the start of the flight path. We have a little bit of mini, not getting a mini item, people. Are we going to get Everest? Maybe Everest will hold. I actually think we might even get that cheeky in between Pachinki and Quarry. That would be a great ending for some of these teams, which means there's not a lot of room for some of these players to play.
I said, continuing to look at that leaderboard, like I said, as we do every time we start these matches out. I mean, FMG and STFU are just so close in numbers right now, 193 to 190. They've been so close all day. I mean, yes, we know FUT has been going up there, but we've watched these teams. Again, this is conversation for, different placement points, different amounts of money. We're, not only playing for first, second, third, fourth, all have their own weight right now. And we're watching these teams just back and forth. That's going to make the end of this tournament, the end of this day, that much more exciting. Does STFU continue that momentum that they finally found here and take over FMG at the end of the day? FMG has 3 points over them. They've got 2 chicken dinners. I mean, it's been consistent for both here. Consistent with the shots here. He's going to find the shots on it with Jaws. GG's. Mad Marines lose 1 early on again.
That is difficult as well, because super sneaky play. Open the door, close the door, gave nothing away. The Mad Marines drove into the compound and find themselves now driving a 3-man up on this final game. Game number 6. Mad Marines obviously are still tinkering on the edge at the bottom there, but not far. There's only 3 points between them and really to fight it out. And then they put another additional 4 on top. They actually push themselves out of the automatic relegation spot. So watch, see. We've still got a few more weeks to play this one out. We've still got time. They've still got opportunities. They've got the zone. They've got 3. We know players down bodies in zone. Well, they can make it work. The rest of the teams need to get rotating, especially these teams in the middle CC, because as much as SWS, well, they normally split around that sort of Gatka area. They will know teams will aggressively descend in around that sort of Llama Hill area. So they've got to be quick on their toes. They've got to find their spot. And they can't allow teams to sort of leapfrog ahead of themselves. Early kill, early victory. Let's see if they can find a central spot now to take the winner chicken dinner.
Unlike the last match, where I think teams had a little bit more of a selection, moving from phase 1 to phase 2 of kind of where they're going. This is going to be one that it's going to really count down to where you gamble for phase number 1. Phase 2, sure, it's going to be a rotation, but look at how many teams on that eastern zone having to rotate in, having to drive past other opposing squads here. We'll continue with that. And speaking of teams rotating, it's Mad Marines, who I think Mark highlighted last time, are still trying to figure out their rotation, still trying to figure out their place in the lobby here. This is our bottom team here in 16, who we've seen. If the coast and the water's in play, they're in the end game. They're in the late game. The coast and the water's out of play, well, they're trying to make the best of a bad situation and play outside their comfort zone here. So we'll see what we get for the rest of the day. The last 2 members of the Mad Marines here still having a little bit of chance to move forward, but Formulation Gaming, 2 chicken dinners, not back-to-back, game 1 and game 4. Continuing to see what this team can do. They're not going to catch FUT at this raid. FUT is continuing their reign of terror as well, but They're doing a great job to keep things consistent and put points up every match.
And it is Mad Marines going down to bodies, to cheap deaths. It's the wrong terminology, lad. They weren't to know. They just didn't move in quick enough. I wouldn't mind the Marines sort of staying close, kind of closing that regiment up a little bit, because they can play. They're strong. They're a Division 1 team. They grinded their way to Division 1, right? So they're in the right place. They just need to stay tight while they're working on the things like the rotations, maybe go back and watch the VODs, get the 2D maps, mark out where their teams are going. It's the next section when we look at some of the stuff that I've done on YouTube and talk to these pros. It's that repetition, it's that learning, it's the understanding where people do and don't play. About where they play, this here is a great spot. This is one of my favourite spots for these style of zones, because if it does push back, you can punish people out in the Gatka fields.
Oh my God, there's just so many opportunities for kills, for just some lines of sight right there. And again, there's the ridge they can also passively move down to play for as well. So definitely a great spot there to highlight and to play for your team there. If it's not already taken there, always consider driving past that spot. Not only that, you can only, you only have to sacrifice 2 players. You only have to send 2 up there to hold that. If it does get taken away, you always have other opportunity in other parts of the zone there right now. So speaking of other parts of the zone, behind enemy wives here along the coast, I'm going to drive into Primorsk here and see what they can find for that southern part of the zone. We don't see often that the zone pulls down in that direction much anymore, but we're talking classic Erangel. We're talking back how things used to be. So let's see if maybe that's a potential here in Primorsk, where we see the end game start to shape its way up and form its way down that way. Speaking of Viperous and shaping up, she's done enough shaping up for the zone and for her distance. She's got the highest point for the peak of this zone, and she's looking to maybe put another 10,000 meter shot in the books here.
That's just about out of render distance. Just in render distance, basically, is what she's hitting. Well, hopefully she's got the eyes on the team at the moment. Viperous, we try to get the intel. The cars are driving around. I think they're baiting the shot. And Marines, they're 2. They're down. Obviously, Waste won't know who's in the compound at the moment. They'll be making a decision whether that's what they want to take, whether they are going to want to be coming to where Michael is now and playing a little bit more in the southwest corner as he scouts ahead over and up on Quarry.
Look at the movement coming out from Michael. Look at the power coming out from Waste. They're just starting to spread on that western coast. They've got 1 player each edge of the ridge. They know nobody's on their back, and if they continue to keep it that way, it should be a good end game here for Waste. Not an early rotation really from Waste, but an early information gather. I think this is going to work out really, really nice for Waste. Yes, they've got zone. They haven't had to move as much as they've moved in previous zones. This could really work in their favor. Speaking of movement, you have BFG coming in. They've had to move in. They've usually in Severny. They're coming from some high rotation positions here, and like I said, it's worked out for them. They haven't had too much of a high kill game, but they've been consistent. They found points in almost every match, and right now we're looking at that middle of the leaderboard to kind of finish the day off here to see which teams are going to enter that top 5, push a few teams out, as we've watched a lot of hopscotch leapfrog back and forth from these teams to position themselves from anywhere from 2 to 6, and even anywhere from down in the positions of 6 through 9.
Well, there's big positions now coming from some of these teams, and it kind of feels like mid-pack day for me. Doesn't feel like we're talking about foot. Doesn't really think about talking about that formulation game too much. It looks like the biggest changes and the biggest gains so far have been from the middle packs, and actually one of these teams here, STFU, getting an opportunity to get a winner chicken dinner. We're going to be looking for another one. We've had 2-2s. They might be looking to get the second one underneath their belt as they will fly their way in. Phase 1, it will take. We have most of our teams in. Gamblers coming in quite late now, but then they were right in that northeast corner. Everyone else, looking for a home, looking for an opportunity, but there's still enough to be taken without losing any teams.
I'm just utterly shocked by Clan's performance tonight. I mean, I was expecting this team to come in and have a bad game, have a little bit of a rough start, here and there. That is what it is. That's you can't take that away from any team. But
they've done well,
in second, maybe even third place. Like I said, they've just looked so good. The rest of the competition, like I said, this is a team that continues to kind of grab my attention when I'm not even looking at them. But this time around, it's like, where is Clan? What is going on? So and goes to show you that sometimes PUBG isn't just skills. Isn't just a matter of performance. Life happens to all these teams right now, and it's going on. Speaking of life happening, all the way down south, still keeping about 35 to 40% of that water in play. Ferry Bear Primorsk is in the zone right there. But even more important, the Primorsk Hill, where a lot of times we see teams go and teams end up, is going to be in play with FUT, as well as SU. Kind of dropping in, seeing some very prime retail for this zone. The gamble comes in from SU, it pays off, and now it's FUT, the FUT squad, with some neighbors of SU.
Well, Destruction Derby is happening. Slowstorm and Get Away from Formation Gaming and UM, which are striking swords. And you obviously bounce off each other like a pinball machine and go opposite directions now. And then look at this. This is going to be insane. Our Mad Marines find themselves in a highway to dance. RES, well, you know, yeah, they're sending it right through, full speed ahead. W key down. Mad Marines will pop a couple of shots. It feels a bit more of a driving game at the moment, and that might be because of this zone shift at the moment.
There's a lot of driving simulation this time, better than the running simulator here. At least teams all having vehicles to rotate themselves in. How clean, how free, I don't know, as we are still trying to wait for the game to develop itself out here. But a lot of teams close in rotation. As I say that, Waste, SU combined some shots onto Unwanted here, and in a flash, Unwanted leaves the lobby.
I do want to leave the lobby pretty quickly. UM, oh, they're trying to pick up heart this rotation here from Techers. This is going to be a big hold as well from AAU. They're quite exposed from this side, and we know aggressive how STFU can be with a knock, or looks like without a knock as well here. CC, big nade comes out, it's going to roll, but it's going to bounce slightly in the wrong direction. But STFU, well, they're up in the grill. They're going to now try and fight this one though. As AAU, they slightly disengage. They're waiting for the guys to fall on the sword, as the rest of them now leave the compound, leave the safety, try and get the off angle. But I worry as they come up and over, there's a player lurking from behind,
waiting for his opportunity, hot and spicy, trying to find that opening, knock them, and keep the information as far in the favor of STFU as he can. As Brule's not able to grab anything for himself, he's going to pull back to the compound. This is still phase 2. They are on the outskirts of the edge here, so again, just kind of thinking about the late game here. Both teams looking to see the final few phases. STFU came off a huge game. The biggest thing for them is to survive, is to overtake FMG. They were 18 points behind coming into the last match. They were now just 3 points away from overtaking the position away from Formulation Gaming, who's had 2 chicken dinners. STFU has had 0. So this is, you know, right now, prime time, game time for STFU. All they got to do is outlast FMG. All they got to do is put a few points on the board. And this day, they can call it a success.
Don't land here. There might be a team below us. So
maybe.
They seem to have got a FAMAS as well. Another coming in. The teams are rotating in. BFG, where's a quick kill confirmed on Zoom. We get rolled in now to Gaudandics, though. Literally coming from a northeast down to a southwest, as they now going to rotate their way in. And oh, that's horrible. The Marines get airborne and pick the compound where everyone is. We're going to see them in 15 players. I think there's some VODs to be watched back for this team. Revisit, reset, come back next week. A team which can be hitting strong, a team that is strong enough to be able to put the points on the board. But yet again, Waste get it right, more importantly, and that zone plays back towards them. And you talk about miss errors from Clannon. Well, there seems to be one here with a run over as a Clement. It's going to need to get reds before anything as they start to move in. That could cost them, because they had the opportunity to get ahead in front of the rest of these teams in the east. Not now.
Another team to get ahead of is STFU. They're about to beat them to the punch. Speaking of trying to fight their way in, we've got Real Gangsters holding on RES here, as RES is across the way, trying to find their way into the zone here, leaping over the balcony, over the bridge here, across the water here. We're trying to find some blue zone nades in the right place, but they're just bouncing just out of position here, as RES is kind of waiting for the push to come through here over the top here. I don't see smokes yet, so RG hasn't decided to make this. They're looking for a blue zone to just kind of do that damage and push them away from said angles here. But I don't know if RG makes this push or if they forfeit off and reconsider a different position on the zone. There's only so much to play from here on the coast.
You're right, STFU are I'm going to sniff here as well. They're going to be looking to come in. AAU, well, they're coming quite late now. Lucky enough, no team sort of leapfrogs ahead of them just yet. This is dangerous. Everyone in one car. You're rolling past foot. You're rolling past where you haven't got intel. But whoa, there's no need. You're going to get knocked out. But in return, T-Bone punches a pack really hard. Ibra goes down. No res will be there. And AAU, well, they become the center of attention for multiple teams behind them. We realize Foot Esports and potentially now roll into Slava and Waste territory.
Slowly but surely, they're finding their way through the territory here. Behind enemy wise will be the last to take some shots here. But I want to say before the vehicle comes to a stop, but AAU refusing to give up and refusing to find nothing. They will find something out of that rotation right there, so it seems to be they're set for now. Ibra will be confirmed as T confirms that one. Snuskadusky with the big reach over the top of that rock gets the knock, but from the backside, STFU, who we called earlier to get involved in on this fight, is now cleaning up everything, both as far as RES and RG goes here. There's one player left on each side. Res, they're trying to come and play, and in comes the full send util from STFU.
Great third party. Wouldn't be surprised for Clan to maybe backfill this, and they have as well. Look how close they are here, CC. They hear the commotion. They want to make something happen. STFU, though, there's confirm. RG get the confirm on the other side, though. Xerox is right in front, but he's rightfully so. Turns around, picks up one. The sixth sense from Xerox, though. He's going to keep as close as he can to the car as he believes that nade's gone through. Clan get the opportunity to reset a double bubble. One goes into the danger house, and Xerox gets in the car and gets on rolling.
There he is now making the push forward here. Again, Clan had not had to stop and get that res, would be ahead of STFU. Now they're basically coming in at the same time as STFU, and STFU is capitalized. STFU is cleaning up. They've got now Olsen down. Gonna go for the flush through the smoke, trying to find Snuskadusky. Just barely missing with that barrel spray, but smoke down of his own to try to get the first aid. 7 HP here for Hot and Spicy. Mybri is down right behind, so he's gonna put some smoke out. Get this res, reset, and final member of RG, who is Snuskadusky.
Man, Cannon thinking they're going to get in front of this fight. They're not. 30 Sports come out on the compound. Snuskadusky, he's the final player. Vest is pretty tanked. Now, the Ace does pack a big punch if he can get close enough. I think he's trying to go above. What he's trying to do is just pick his head as he comes out. That's a good shout. You just need to figure out where he's going to go from here. I don't think they know. He's actually snuck his way into the danger zone, but he can't see. This is exactly what I can see. A sea of white. He's looking now for sound cues. Done. No.
Gotta have stuff here. He's got one. Oh, but Mybri there for the response. It should be able to stick the res in time, and after the res comes through, STFU has to make the move forward. But Hot and Spicy.
No, let go. Let him go. He's gone. He's gone. You haven't got the jammer pack. No jammer pack. No jammer pack. No jammer pack. Oh, mate, that's a hero's res. He's gone, mate. Look, Clan are now doing what I think they wanted to do before, and that's get ahead of this. They now roll ahead. They know the action store unfolding. Park up here. The cars are key. This is a good move from Clan. We're looking for something big for them. They now put up, but the car fortification has to be pinpoint accurate. And they've got to keep their heads on the swivel, not just from the compound, but anyone lurking in from behind.
Oh, and there is a lurker from behind. Aarki there for RES is sneaking surely into that position right there. May not come into contact before it's too late, but if he plays his time right, should be able to find at least 1 or 2 kills on the team there for behind enemy wives there. But STFU down to 2. Hot and Spicy was trying to find the vehicle, I think, earlier, so it's now down to just these 2 full sending forward. There's not too much to play. They either have to crash on the Clan. They've got to take the compound here from behind enemy wives.
Difficult, very difficult to play. Very, very difficult to play. As a confirmed, Formation Gaming go down to slow. They're going to take 12th place. Good game. Good games today from Formation Gaming. Overall, very consistent. So, nothing to shine. There goes another. How many flares have we got today? Well, it's picked out. No connecting shots just yet, but information gathered from All Against Us as AAU now disengaged back around the other side, but it's going to go towards the gambles as they wrap the whole way around zone. They are going to be happy, but look at this waste centralized zone in a good spot. They might be looking good for the end zone now and waiting for the rest of these teams to thin out before they start claiming some points.
Aarki was just taken care of by the coast. So that's going to be STFU creating some breathing room for not only them, but Clan as well. So Clan can focus on the fight with BEW, and they are focusing on that fight. One more member to deal with there, but over the top comes the final member. AV hangs tight for the squad there to finish off the final few of the Clan members. Clan down and out. Again, need to reset, watch, and maybe just gather themselves together to come back for a reset on week number 5. That was not the plan that we had coming into week number 4, so we'll see what they do to reset. It's now down to our top 8 teams, but interesting conversation with behind enemy wives. We haven't seen them take care of a chicken dinner yet. We haven't seen them really do 2 high kill games here, but having the opportunity right now, this is when they start to shine right now. Aaron Gale, usually their best map right now.
Huge night. Huge night.
The first nade, second. Now to find maybe another knock. There's just 1 player left up. Sandraheem trying to rotate around and open the door. Actually, there's 2 players. Sorry, Don Quixote Dauphin still inside. Hasn't left the compound yet. Maybe looking to just secure some placement. It all comes down to timing.
Let's come down to timing. I wonder if they actually know, because remember Otto came in. Looks like all eyes drawn on the solo at the moment, and might be able to get creative. Teams are around him. Isn't above the building. Stuff's going to pull that Otto. He's already been spotted out more on a sound cue than anything, because he has to back away. And the guys should be happy. Here comes the push though, hot and spicy, and just get them in time. But he goes out. It's formation. Game started up for next game. Already gone. BFG, they go down and out. They've been holding this sort of remorse area for a while, but they are clean in towards the south. Very dangerous. They need to clear out the compound. Duffy as well. He did get caught. He did catch T-Bone on the cross. I think he's done enough damage maybe to get that confirmed.
Should be able to push back. This buys time for Fut to get that res. Yes, he's got it.
Huge motto. Huge.
Otto's now getting the stick, getting Fut back to their full potential, at least for the time being. It's going to be 3 members up now for Fut. The solo is Sandraheem, and he's got to push. He's got an opportunity to come forward here, but he's allowing Otto to kind of beat that opportunity. So now Otto's going to hold the wall right there. He's not quite inside the zone here with 45 seconds. He's got some decisions to make. He makes the decision to move forward, but already there for the push is Intense. Look at the death box coming out for Intense. Talk about sick.
Sunken treasure, unfortunately, for behind enemy wives. They're out. If it wasn't going to be them, it was going to be BFG. Any further around, the BFG guys would have heard a commotion. Kind of like the push though from them. They're trying to grab that area. This is the next play. So BFG looking forward. They're not looking at phase 5. They're looking at that phase number 6. So good play from them. The guys at the back overwatching. They need to be cautious. They need to hear these cars leaving. So they get wind of it. I wouldn't be surprised to see they'll just sort of look back, focus on Intense. The rest of the action, there's a lot of commotion in this north at the moment, as it is Waste. They just now find themselves on the outside. But Viperess, well, we know she can pack a punch at 900 odd meters. Well, she's definitely going to be connecting those shots. Can she get the confirm? Nearly a steal and a wheel here from the gamblers. They're waiting. And Michael, well, he needs to get res pretty quickly. He's all on the showy though. But he's got SU, well, pushing the other way. They're looking to try and get involved. As the M4 or the Augsburg gets the connection and Purdy goes down.
Purdy now to fall. SU trying to recover here as Purdy does get a knock and the recover onto Michael. In the face of Showy, somehow survives. Is going to avoid that knock, gets into the shack to maybe potentially get this res onto Michael, who has crawled to safety right now. Waste trying to get back 2-3 members alive after a great rotation. Good hold in the middle of this Aaron Gale zone. Shows another repeat on the AUG. Push back down as SU continuing that pressure from the side. It's SWS, SU, and a Waste fight here. Only one team to survive as Gambling Addicts actually wants to enter the conversation as well.
Yeah, good knocks from them. I think they're disappointed that the Waste team were getting knocks and steals, and that's close, but not good enough. It doesn't get posted that time. They're looking for another one. Doesn't quite go through the window. Will the money go up and over? It does. Somehow, some way, Waste are holding on. We do see SWS go down, and this means another team to fall. But Michael and Viperess, we know this duo is going to be able to pack a punch, and Waste looking to survive out against a 4 gambling team.
Dangerous duo, as Mark just said. Michael find one, barely one, but Michael drops the nade, perfect. Gets one for the flush, goes for the second inside the smoke. This is gonna be huge, but don't forget about SU, who is still lurking from the back.
Behind you, Michael! No! Oh, where's he gone? He's right. Oh no, it's Vipers with the P90. I thought it was GA that ran past him. Oh, that was close. Actually keeping his head on this one, not a pro player. Vipers would have gone down if I was Michael. He's not going to work his way around. There goes the nade. He lays down for this one. Needs to try and get the information. Viper's going to try and pack a punch. Goes forward now with the P90. Michael launches the nade, but no double hits for this one. And Slava, well, they're coming in. They do not want either of these teams to get out pretty clean. And for esports with the MK rolling in as well.
There it is. SU to finish off the remainder of the Gambling Addicts, but Michael is not done yet. He spots out some opportunity for a few more kills for Waste. It's like, we got 4 for SU. This looks to be their game, but he's not going to give it to him without a fight. He's got the hog in hand, fully reloaded. Foot enters the conversation to try to provide some health, and this could be huge as T goes down. SU's focus starting to shift onto Foot. Michael continuing to look forward upon this ridge to see if he can connect, to see if he can find an opening knock here. Spots out one, goes for the head, but unfortunately Intense is there for Spectro, but myself and Purdy take care of Waste. Now down to top 3 teams, Foot with 2, SU with 3, and the solo BFG.
Going for it as well. Love it. Oh, making the push. Foot looking to put at least a chicken dinner on the belt. Slava going to look to put the second and keep the trend of 2 teams, or sorry, it's 3 teams with 2 chicken dinners on the board. It's a 3 versus 3 versus 1. The 1 could be issues though for Slava, as it is on that side. There goes the first nade, and it comes in from Otto. Huge as Purdy goes down, putting the Slava team down to a dangerous duo.
There it is. That was myself trying to step up, but
there was a solo.
Too quickly. But coming in, this is the top team. They didn't get a chicken dinner. They want to end the day on a high note. There's the rest going on to T, and it's all up to Adele for BFG.
Oh my days, BFG, you're bloody for a spanner in the works. 30 Sports can be back to a 3. Otto on the wrap round. Otto, a massive person for the community, number 1. But 2, huge wrap, understanding just to back away. There was someone in the south, didn't know where it was. Foot Esports, though, remind everyone why they're top of the leaderboard. They were 250 points coming in. They put themselves a chicken dinner. There is another 22 points on the board. That's going to round for Esports, though, to obviously all the way up. It's going to be a good game from them. It's quite aggressive games, but I think they really, really, really needed that chicken dinner, though, coming into.
You've been hanging out with Gib too much. That was the Australian accent kind of come out on you there. You know,
Got me, man.
I know he's not here today, so we got to live him in spirit. We got to still keep Gib here one way or another.
We love
got
Gib,
you.
mate. We love Gib. Good games.
But no. That was a fantastic game, right, Mark? I mean, coming out from FUT, we've been talking about them all day. I mean, we haven't been talking about, but we've been talking about them, right? They're a team that's kind of avoided the main conversation, but it's obviously been there. We've talked about a lot of the middle, leaderboard teams. We've talked about a lot of the teams that are trying to get out of relegation, trying to get into that confirmation that they want to stick around for this tournament. Yeah. We didn't get to talk about our top team taking a chicken dinner, and there it is. The performance they usually bring is fantastic.
Good performance, good ending. They arguably needed a chicken dinner. Formulation Gaming got it from Waste, got it again. They're closing down the doors with STFU up there as well. A couple of teams now pushed themselves in that 200 points. So we're a 50, well, now 70-point gap that they got, 72-point gap, should I say, that they've got. They kind of want to keep that breathing room. Look, a couple more weeks to go before we go to the finals, and actually having a big sort of gap when you come into the last 3 days. If the last 3 days are explosive, you've not watched the finals for these already. These games are explosive anyway. So good game, good ending. I really like what we saw from Waste Day. Really love what I saw from Formulation Gaming. It's actually a lot of the mid pack that I really enjoyed today for me. But anything, obviously, to sum up the day for you, obviously, as we close out that final game, CC.
No, like I said, again, just a very, very mid-heavy game. Like I said, we've seen a lot of the teams, stepping up to give us performances. Teams like Waste, who, again, I think we've highlighted individual players. They actually came through as a full 4 today, and I think that's exactly why Waste is in the conversation. Formulation Gaming much said the same kind of fashion as they come in with 4 players to finish off them end games here. We've seen FUT with 3 players. This I think is the OG Aaron Gale here, the OG PUBG, where you see more power in numbers starting to come through. I remember there wasn't a time in PUBG where you can have 4 players or 1 or 2 players outlive those 4 players. It was that 4 player, okay, guaranteed victory. We're solid, we're solidified, and we're kind of getting back to that understanding of PUBG where you can get the power numbers, you can put your people across the map, and again start to scare more or less the entire map. Control that end zone, phase 6, phase 7. If you're not in control by phase 7, you've really done a lot to get the win there by phase 9. But if you're in control by phase 7 or that 4th, I think that's what we've seen today. Typical PUBG fundamentals, and it's worked at its best.
Very old school PUBG, isn't it? Very centralized compound, holding, looked good, looked at the ending. Well, that's it from us. As we say goodbye to another week of GGL, we're going to take a quick break. I believe I'm back at the weekend for 0-1-0. Their esports, the group stages are happening as well at the moment, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for everyone that's been trying the bot out on Twitch. Obviously, call for the database. If you haven't already, I need your help. Get the database up to date. Let us know what teams are playing. If you're in a team, add your team to the bot. Get on Discord, !Discord. Let's go rate someone if you're on Twitch. Thank you very much, everyone watching on YouTube and X or Twitter.com. I still call it Twitter. and loads more
It's hard,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, loads more store to be happening. Loads more that I need to continue finishing off on these little projects to sort of close things out. That's it from us. Stay tuned. See you guys in the next stream. Peace.